I'm here with Coach Megan Glennie of the women's volleyball team. And, Coach, the first thing I wanted to ask you, because your 8-game win streak came to an end against Irvine Valley College last Wednesday. What was the atmosphere like in your locker room after that loss?
That's a great question. You know what? At the end of the day, there's one thing that we asked them going into the match is, to go in there, be confident, be great at the things they're in control of. And I've said from the beginning, if we're going out there and we're giving everything, there's not a lot that us as coaches, can be upset about. There's only, to an extent with volleyball, there's only so much you can do. And we think, honestly, after that game, yes, we were bummed, we were disappointed that we got the loss, but we were proud of them and what they displayed because IVC came out and they had a great game. They had a different game, to be completely honest with you, than the first time we saw them. I think we kind of caught them off guard when we first saw them, and I know they had been preparing, to face us again. And you know what, they went out there, they had a great game, and I think our girls battled, but it also, just boils down to just mental toughness. And I think that's something we have a team majority. We have a lot of freshmen on our team, which isn't a bad thing. It's a great thing. But mental toughness obviously comes with time, comes with maturity, and that's something that we'll continue working on. But after the game, we went in there and we didn't have a lot of negative things to say because we think that the girls came out and gave their all, and we continue climbing from there.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned Irvine Valley came with a different game plan. What were some of those things that they were doing in their sets that kind of caught you guys off guard?
They brought, we always knew that they were consistent, but they brought a whole nother level of consistency to the game. We went into the match knowing that their, primary hitters were their middles. We taking a look at the last time we played them, both of their middles had at least, 15 kills apiece, hitting a .46, something around that, which is crazy to see for the middle position. Usually outside they're getting set more, but for them, they really, dial in and get their middle involved, a part of the offense, which is tough to stop. So we worked hard in stopping the middles, but they came out and they served aggressive. One strength of ours that I feel is we are very strong, serve receive wise and defensively, and they came out and they got us out of system, which not a lot of teams can do, because I think, like I said, our strength is serve receive. So they came out, they served tough, and they really just, took care of business. So it's tough, there's not a lot of room for error, and I think one thing that we were lacking was when we got back there on the end line, we made a lot of mistakes serving-wise, which we work on serving a lot, but when you're playing a team like IVC, you can't just serve to get it in. You have to hit the zone and serve aggressively and get them out of system. Mm-hmm. So that's something that we struggle with, that we're going to obviously continue working on going forward.
So when looking at your opponent tonight, Orange Coast College, they are also another top 25 team in the CCCAA standings. How do you continue to pick up that energy and make sure your girls don't kind of get down on themselves when they have another tough opponent right after IVC?
Definitely. And it's you can see too, usually every season, this is kind of our halfway point. So we've been going since July, and it's really easy to try to get, to have this burnout rate when you're halfway through season. It's started since July, and one thing that we as coaches always try to do is, of course, never allow our athletes to lose their spirit for the game. I think their spirit, their passion, if we're not feeling that, if they're not feeling that, then there's not a lot we can do as coaches. And if you don't have passion, for what you're doing, it's going to be really hard to be successful. So I know for us, there's not one day that we come in and have the same practice. Every day we work hard as coaches to keep it interesting, make sure that they're still learning, while also having fun. One of my, I know when I played collegiately, I loved when my coaches would put competition on drills, because at the end of the day, if you want to be successful, you need to make your practices as much as a game-like situation as possible. So that's something that we can kind of control as coaches. Every day I come in and try to add some kind of competition. We're always competing. Everything's usually game-like. Even in our breakouts or something that's more fundamentally, getting them working on technique and fundamentals, we're still competing, which kind of helps obviously athletes and just to keep that spirit, keep that passion alive, because it's one thing that we just talked about. We always have a team devo before our matches, and we just spoke in the locker room is, yes, we've worked hard. Yes, we had a tough loss against IVC, but right now we're second in conference, 8-2. We have to keep working if we want to maintain that, if we want to go to playoffs. And this match tonight is going to say a lot because right now our PI-wise OCC is ranked higher than us. They are at that 10th spot, and we're at 11 right now in the southern section. So we need, obviously, to take care of business tonight in order to secure that.
So you're around volleyball a lot, the sport of volleyball. You're at the club level, the high school level. You also played at the university level. But what do you enjoy most about coaching here at the community college level? It's
a great question. I love that question. You know, I actually came from a corporate job. So last year was my first year at Fullerton College, and before that, I got my degree in marketing and my master's in business. So I went on and I worked for an advertising agency, and I did the corporate. I thought that I wanted the corporate route. I went that for 2 years, and I just remember one day sitting behind a desk, and I'm like, man, I have no purpose. What am I, you know, I worked so hard. This is what I thought I had wanted. I'm making good money. That's what everyone wants. But then you're sitting there in front of a computer, you know, dealing with sales and, you know, a lot of things that go into it. So I realized, you know, my husband, Philip Tomajic, his dream was to open up a club, so we did that. It took off, and it was able to be kind of our sole income, and then I was able to get this opportunity, you know, to coach for Fullerton College. And for me, the best part of this job, and realizing and seeing after going from a corporate position to here, is you can make a difference. And for me, it's not just about volleyball. It's not just being successful in something. We always tell our athletes every day, you know, yes, I care about you getting better. Yes, I care about us having a successful season. But at the end of the day, it's for those that want to go on and play at the next level, we have the power to help them. For those that are struggling in school, we have the power to help them. You know, I say that we're mentors, we're second parents, we're their coaches, we're a little bit of everything. Because I had coaches, and we just finished our one-on-ones with everybody, and I had coaches who cared about me, and I had coaches that just looked at me as a full ride. And if I wasn't performing, I would, you know, lose my scholarship. And I want to make sure they know this is more to me, this is more to us than just volleyball, than just being successful. It's a bigger picture. So there's nothing more, and I'm really passionate, as you can see. There's nothing more important for me than to make sure we're doing everything in our power to make an impact in their life as well, with the 2 years that we have them.
Of course. Well, thank you very much for your time, and best of luck in tonight's game against OCC.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. No, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Back here at Colleen Riley Court, that was an interview pre-recorded earlier today with head coach Megan Glennie of the Fullerton College volleyball team. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez and Ryan Osborne for tonight's volleyball match. Fullerton College volleyball, to be specific, as they take on the Pirates of Orange Coast College. Let's go ahead and introduce both teams. Victor, OCC.
Thank you, Noah. So for Orange Coast College, they're actually led by Coach Cuttanese. It's already his 28th year as the head coach for the Pirates, 30 overall, because he had 2 years as an assistant head coach. And so far, he's been trying to lead his team to just have continued success during his tenure. So far, as Noah mentioned earlier in the broadcast, the Pirates have a 14-4 overall record, and they're 7-3 in the conference. He actually pointed out a couple players that we should try to keep an eye on. One of them is Bailey Coffin. Coffin leading the Pirates with 176 kills. She also has 189 digs and 24 blocks. Something that Coach Cuttanese mentioned about Coffin is that she's not only a hard worker during practice, but she's a hard worker outside of practice. I think he even mentioned that she has a personal trainer. She tries to work on her game as much as she can, and you love to see that because it eventually, hopefully, spreads to the rest of the team. Second player you have to look out is Thea Snyder. She's an extremely aggressive player on the Pirates team, and she's also very intellectual, has a high GPA, and that's something that Cuttanese wanted to make sure that we knew, because that kind of presence on the court is going to help you make some really good high-level decisions.
And they have two strong middles, too. Lily Johnson and Jocelyn Martinez both play middle for the Pirates of Orange Coast College. Both are tied for fourth in the conference with 52 blocks on the year. So very strong middles for the Pirates. And over on Fullerton side, well, they're led by head coach Megan Glennie, who's in her second year. We just caught up with her in an interview before tonight's broadcast. And, you know, it's in her second year. A lot of freshmen on this team. They're led by 3 sophomores, Sam Longstreet and Sailor Frew. Sam, she plays middle for this team. She leads the team with 54 blocks, she has sole place of second in conference in that category. And then Sailor Frew, the bounce back from Northern Arizona University, She just brings this offensive attack of Fullerton to a whole nother level. She leads the conference with 260 kills. She also has 26 service aces as well. So very dynamic player. Those are two sophomores to keep up on Fullerton's team.
Exactly. And Noah, one other thing you got to mention, not only do they lead, Sailor Fruit leads in kills, but also Fullerton leads all OEC teams with 778 kills and 1,276 digs. So that just tells you that they're trying to keep as many plays and exchanges alive, as well as capitalizing on all those rallies.
A reminder, you're listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. As we look at some of the key stats entering tonight's game, Fullerton College 12-7 on the year. Their opponent, Orange Coast, 14-4 overall. They're 7-3 in conference play. Fullerton College is 7-2 in their Orange Empire Conference games. Orange Coast averaging nearly 12.5 kills per set, 12.16 to be exact. Fullerton College averaging 11.79. Assist goes in favor of Orange Coast again. They have 703 assists compared to Fullerton's 675. We mentioned it earlier, Thea Snyder. She has 581 of those assists for Orange Coast. Exciting volleyball match ahead of us, Victor. I'm really excited about this one. A top 25 match as Fullerton, after their loss to IVC last week, they fall from 18 to 19 on the year. Orange Coast as well, they're on the decline. They fell from 19 in last week's poll now to 23, but both still in the top 25 as we get ready for the national anthem here at Colleen Riley Court. A reminder, you're listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK.
Women's volleyball match between the visiting Pirates of Orange Coast College and your Fullerton College Hornets. Will you all please stand and honor America for the singing of our national anthem by our very own Taylor Livingston.
Back here at Colleen Riley Court for tonight's volleyball match between the Pirates of Orange Coast College and the Hornets of Fullerton College. Noah Alvarez joined by Victor Vasquez and Ryan Osborne for tonight's match. Victor, let's go ahead and get to those starters for Orange Coast College.
Yes, so let's go ahead and start right here with freshman Lucrecia Lualdi, who's going to be one of the outside hitters for the Pirates. You also have number 6, Bailey Coffin, outside hitter out of Calvary Chapel High School. Then you have the libero, Terry Taquita Robbins, 5'5", out of Milani High School. Then you have a middle back, Lily Johnson. She was actually a state player of the week last year for the Pirates, so she's another player you have to look out for. You also have number 12, freshman Mahina Kenoy out of Kamehameha High School, outside hitter for the Pirates. Then you have, as we mentioned earlier on in the pregame, Thea Snyder, 5'8". She's going to be the setter, trying to set up and give her players as many opportunities to get points for these Pirates. And then finally, to round it off, you have number 16, freshman Jocelyn Martinez, who will be another middle back 5'9" out of Beckman High School.
I'm glad you did the name for that high school because I would have butchered that one. And for Fullerton, their starters, we'll get right into that one. At the outside position, they have Faith Webb and Sailor Frew. Webb, the freshman out of Yorba Linda High School. Frew, the sophomore from Norco High School, played last year at Northern Arizona University. Sam Longstreet will be playing middle for the Hornets. She's a sophomore, 6 foot, out of Lakewood High School. She's the only player who played on last year's squad. Priscilla Gutierrez will be handling the libero duties for today. And Hannah Tobin will round it off. She plays the defensive specialist. Also forgot to mention Mackenzie Janstad. She's the other middle for this Fullerton team from Troy High School, right down the street, as we're just about ready for volleyball action tonight. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on the 90.1 KBPK. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez and Ryan Osborne for tonight's match between the Pirates of OCC and the Hornets of Fullerton College.
And Noah, we gotta remember as well to mention that this is the second time Fullerton has been facing off against the Pirates. Fullerton actually won their first meeting on September 27th. They won in straight sets. They won 26-24 in the first set, 25-12 in the second, and they finished it off in that third set, 25-21. So let's see what's going to change. Is it going to be a lot more of a competitive matchup, or is it going to be just another straight set victory for the Hornets?
And you bring up a good point because Coach Cutney's, he was telling us that his team was very banged up at the beginning, right? He talks about how the volleyball season's a very quick start and compared to the school year. So a lot of girls got injured early on in the season. Now he has a fully healthy squad. So we'll see how different things play to go because that was almost, 2-3 weeks ago. So it was quite a while, quite a different team. This Fullerton Hornets team went on an 8-game win streak, and that was one of the games that they defeated in Orange Coast. They lost last week to Irvine Valley College. They lost that game in 3 sets. I know you weren't here for that one, but both Ryan and I were really impressed by the overall control, the discipline from Irvine Valley College. A team that's undefeated, atop at the state rankings, #1, but also atop of the Orange Empire Conference, which both these teams play in.
And I'm pretty sure Coach Glennie, even though they didn't get that victory in that match, I'm pretty sure she just loved to kind of compete against the #1 team in the state, see where her team ranks.
So Webb will be starting it off for the Hornets on the serve. Here's her jump serve as we're just getting started here. Tonight's volleyball match between Fullerton and Orange Coast. Webb hits this one too long, so the first point is going to go to Orange Coast College on the evening.
Like the assertiveness by Webb. She's got 160 kills so far this season. Just a little too strong on that play right down the middle of the court.
So Jocelyn Martinez, the middle for this team, will come in via the libero sub as Terry Takita Robbins subs out. Here's Frew right into the block of Martinez, who we just talked about. Now OCC gets into their play set over the double block. Here's Sam from the middle position. And after Coffin lays out to make the pancake, the team can't rally around her, so it's a point for Fullerton.
As we get a substitution, as Samaria Longstreet just comes off, but she just got that previous point for the Hornets. She just has this knack for punching that ball and putting it in the right position where the defense is not going to be at.
A very experienced volleyball player, especially at the community college level, has the most experience on this team. She's a third-year sophomore here at Fullerton College, as now that one's long. It's going to be a point for the Hornets as they lead 2-1 in this first set.
Jocelyn Martinez trying to go to the edge of the court on the near side, but just missed.
Samantha Swanson now serving for the Hornets. As Coffin can't make the diving dig. 3-1 Hornets here early on in this first set. Swanson out of La Serna High School in Whittier, California. As Orange Coast gets into their play set, and a powerful strike by Lualdi.
Lualdi showing off the strength early in this game to try to catch up in this first set.
On the year, she has 109 kills, 8 service assists. She's contributed 125 points for her team as Fullerton goes up 3-2 in this first set. Orange Coast now on the serve. It'll be Thea Snyder as this one is in. That's a point for the Hornets. 4-2 is the score.
Great awareness by Jenstad on that one. to notice the hole right there on the near side back line of the defense of the Pirates. She hit that ball perfectly.
Now serving is Chloe Johnson, the setter for these Fullerton Hornets out of Langley, Washington. Here's Coffin right into the double block of Janstad. Now Frew gets it over. And Thea right into the net. Unfortunately, Martinez couldn't recover, and that's going to be a point for the Hornets. 5-2 is the score in this first set.
Very unfortunate for the Pirates because Kanoi got a nice dig on that one and kept her team alive on that one. Took all that power from Sailor Frew.
Here's Johnson again with their serve, and this one's going to be in. Orange Coast decided to let that one. That's going to be a point for the Hornets.
It's already the second ace so far in this first set for the Hornets.
6-2 is the score. Hornets lead here in this first set. Johnson still serving. She now has 10 service aces on the season as Frew blocks this one for the Hornets. Now here's Coffin. Free play for the Hornets. This one's going to be a point for the Hornets as they go up now 7-2 after it was deflected out by Orange Coast. And there is going to be the first timeout called by Coach Cutney's of Orange Coast College. So the Hornets lead 7-2 here early on in the first set. You are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez and Ryan Osborne for tonight's volleyball match between two top 25 teams. It's been an exciting start thus far.
And it has been, Noah. I mean, one of the things that I was looking forward to for Fullerton, especially coming off that loss last week where I wasn't there against Irvine Valley College, was the serves. They had one ace and I believe 9 errors from the serve. So I wanted to see, okay, what is going to be the point of focus? Are they going to try to improve that? Because as you know, you got to win as many points as you can off of your serve to kind of set up your offense and your attack. And so far, they've got 2 aces. They've got a 5-point lead so far in this first set, so it's looking good for the Hornets.
And against a team like the Lasers and Irvine Valley College, they simply just don't make mistakes. So you can't afford to make mistakes, especially on the serve. You at least want to make them challenging and at least force them to play it back and make them make their mistakes. But you're right. I mean, that's the reason, though, Irvine Valley is 17-0, undefeated in the conference play. Orange Empire Conference is Johnson still serving. Hornets currently on a 4-0 run. They lead 7-2 in this first set in their blue uniforms, as this one's going to be deflected out. Point for the Hornets. 8-2 is the score.
Great quick set by Riley Vaya on that one. Just kind of put it right above the net and gave Jenstad enough space to bomb that one right at the defender.
The talented freshman out of Yucca Valley High School. Here's Orange Coast. They play it for Luwaldi. And Webb unable to get to that one. 8-3. That stops a 6-0 run for Fullerton.
Luwaldi again noticing that there's no defenders in the back row and got that one right into it. Didn't give Faith Webb a chance to save it.
Hornets in their blue uniforms with the white stripe down the middle. As here's Frew from the middle. It's a miss hit. Looked like it hit the bottom of her hand there.
Seemed like it was outstretched on that one. Kind of jumped ahead of that ball. Couldn't time it in the air.
Orange Coast in their orange uniforms have the white shoulder stripe and the blue shorts. As this one is hit too long by Webb from the backcourt. So it's another point for the Pirates. 8-5 now is the score here in this first set.
You like the idea where she tried to hit it to the back row, trying to help that one floats in and curves in, but wasn't successful.
Luwaldi's still serving, and this one is shanked by the Hornets. 3 straight points now for the Pirates. 8-6 is the score. Hornets still lead. Luwaldi, the freshman out of Newport Harbor High School. That one's going to land out of bounds. It's another point for the Pirates. 8-7 here is the score. Pirates looking to make a run.
Now you're seeing who came out with a better mindset after that timeout, Noah.
We might be seeing Megan Glenny call a timeout sooner or later, as the Hornets have been struggling these last couple of plays. 4 straight points now for the Pirates. 8-8, all tied up here in this first set.
And all of them hits just out of bounds, just not being able to position that ball correctly for the Hornets.
Johnson getting into the play now. Frew pushes it forward. Now Mendoza taps it over. Nice diving dig there by Lualdi. And this one going to sail out of bounds, so it stops a 5-0 run for the Pirates as the Hornets now lead 9-8.
Thea trying to set up her outside hitter on the far side of the court. Ended up throwing that ball way too high, ended up going over the net. Unfortunate for Snyder and the Pirates.
Orange Coast is coming off a 3-1 loss against Golden West College. Fullerton lost 3-0 to Irvine Valley last Wednesday as Priscilla Gutierrez shanks this one. It's a point for the Pirates. Teams are all tied up at 9 apiece.
Lualdi so far with 3 points for the Pirates, and she's just showing off her power right now, just blowing that one right off of Priscilla Gutierrez.
Takeda Robbins now will be serving for the Pirates, the libero on this team. As the Pirates now get into their play set. Gutierrez with a nice diving dig. Sprawling onto the court. As there's a free play for the Hornets, Jenstad tried to get it over from the middle position. Couldn't do so. Pirates now lead 10-9.
That's when you guys start realizing the decision-making you're going to have to make. Should you have gone up for that one? Or should you have kind of set it up and, you know, kind of set up your attack a lot better than what they did on that play?
Pirates lead 10-9 here in this first set. As Frew gets it over, she bumps it over, so it's a free play for the Pirates. Lualdi gets this one inbounds. That's another point for the Pirates, 11-9 here in this first set.
I believe that was Coffin who got it that kill, so that's her first kill of the night for the Pirates.
She had 9 kills the last time these two teams played. Fullerton won that game 3-0, 3-0, as it's another point for the Pirates. 12-9 is the score, and that's going to force Fullerton head coach Megan Glennie to call a timeout. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez and Ryan Osborne. Ryan, what are some future dates and events coming up here on 90.1 KBPK?
Well, I think the most important date that you have to look forward to is this upcoming Friday, where Fullerton College basketball is going to be in play, as Fullerton College men's basketball will take on Vanguard University. That will take place on Friday at 6 p.m. We're going to have Fullerton College TV out there. It's going to be a whole ordeal, a whole presentation, once again brought to you by Fullerton College TV. So check the homepage for the Fullerton College Athletics website, and you can take a look at where you can watch that live. For 90.1 KBPK, we're looking ahead actually in about just over a month or so. December the 17th, we're going to have CTE Day, which is going to be huge here on campus, where a lot of high schoolers, a lot of people from campus get a chance to actually explore what the CTE department is all about. So that's going to be December the 17th, quite a ways away, but it's going to be a huge event for us.
Thank you, Ryan. As we're back here at Colleen Riley Court, Takeda Robbins will now be serving for the Pirates. Johnson bumps this one over. Free play now for the Pirates. Digged out by Johnson. Vio hits this one and gets stuffed. No, it's a point for the Hornets as it landed on the side of Orange Coast College.
Yes, it just landed right in between the wall that Kanoi and Snyder tried to set up on that one. Great job by the Hornets.
Pirates still lead 12-10 early on in this first set. Jenstad will now be serving. This one's shanked by Kanoi. Let's see if the Pirates can recover, and they can't. Valiant effort, though. 12-11 is the score.
Hornets still down by 1 point, but it's still Fullerton's side out.
Jenstad, the freshman out of Troy High School, came through the Megan Glennie pipeline. She also coaches at Troy High School. One of the 3 players on this team that are from Troy High School. This one's tapped over by Kanoi. Now Frew with a powerful kill and gets the point for the Hornets. Ties things up at 12 apiece.
And it all started with that Faith Webb dig. She's able to throw her body out, gave her squad an opportunity, and they just set it up perfectly right in the middle of the court for Sayla Frew.
Snyder now setting it up. Gets it through the double block as Orange Coast College gets into play again. Nice double block there by Sam Longstreet and Riley Vayo. Hornets get into their play. Longstreet plays it over. Orange Coast having a little bit of communication issues there. They get it over, but it's a free play now for the Hornets. This one's punched too long. Orange Coast looked a little discombobulated on that last play, didn't they?
And you hit it right on the dot. No, I think it was Coffin and Thea Snyder who did not communicate on that play, and it cost them on that one. It ended up giving Fullerton a free attack, ended up knocking that ball out of bounds.
Kanoe had to try and dive and punch that one over. Just a little too long on this. As this one is shanked by Robbins. 3 straight points now for the Hornets as they lead 14-12 midway through this first set.
And again, the serve working in favor for Fullerton. Let's hope they can keep it up to try to take this first set.
Genstead now has 18 service aces on the year after that last one. Free play now for the Hornets. Johnson getting it to Vayo. It's a net violation. No, two touch. Double hit, as they call it. Fullerton now leads 15-12 midway through this first set.
Noah, what I liked on that play is that Sam Longstreet, instead of trying to just hit it over, she like, okay, you know what? Make a better decision. Let's try to set up our attack and get something more successful.
You like the awareness there by Longstreet. One of the many veterans here on this Fullerton team. This one's hit out of bounds, though. Point for the Pirates. 15-13 is the score now, halfway through the first set. Hornets lead. Couple substitutions as we get you the 6 on the floor for the Hornets. They have Webb, Frew, Gutierrez, who just subbed in via the libero sub, Johnson, Vayo, and Longstreet, while Orange Coast has Johnson, Snyder, Robbins, Kanoe, Lualdi, and Rashelu, who just checked in. It's going to be a point for the Hornets. 15-13 now is the score. 16-13 here halfway through this first set.
As we have Bailey Coffin coming in now for Richelieu. She just came in for service duties for the side out for the Pirates.
Their serving specialist. Here's a backcourt attack. She's going to be a set over. So free play now for the Hornets. Webb hits this one right into the hands of Johnson, and Johnson, it deflects out of bounds off her. Point for the Hornets. 17-13 is the score, and that's going to force Coach Cutney's to call a timeout. You're listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK, a top 25 matchup between two Orange Empire Conference teams. Fullerton leading 17-13 over Orange Coast College. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez and Ryan Osborne. When you look at Coach Cutney's, though, we had the chance to catch up with him before the game. He's coached a lot of years here at Orange Coast, 30 years to be specific, 28 as a head coach. Where does this team rank among some of the greater teams that he has coached in his past?
Well, he was kind of, discussing with us in the pregame that it is very difficult to kind of compare teams, especially with the success that he's had, like in 2005 where he had his team go undefeated, 25-0. He did point out, obviously, comparing to the teams of the past, this team's a lot younger. They have 4 sophomores only, as compared to his championship teams in the prior decade. They were very sophomore heavy, so that's one thing that he's trying to compare as well. And he's also saying that there's not a lot of depth in much of the positions. He said he's had to move 4 players to different positions. Now, he even told us how difficult that is. Imagine having to train your whole life for 8 years for a special position and then move on to a different one and adapt to a new system. So very, very tough, but he's still very optimistic about his squad.
And we were talking about it before the game. I mean, just picture it, because we cover the coaches. We cover football a lot here on the coaches show, but imagine, going from safety and then now you're going to have to play defensive line. It's kind of hard to compare the both, but that's how difficult it is for a middle back to, let's say, make the transition to outside hitter here in volleyball. And that's what Coach Cutney's has had to do this year with the lack of depth at certain positions on this Orange Coast College team. This one can't be saved by Snyder. She makes it a diving attempt out of bounds. Point for the Hornets as they lead 18-13. Trying to pick up a victory here in this first set.
No, we're apparently in the first set, but both teams have already called a timeout apiece. You can feel the intensity so far. They both want to try to take this victory today.
Orange Coast has used 2 timeouts. Fullerton 1. Longstreet now setting it up for Johnson. gets it over to Webb, right into the double block. Here's Frew with the backcourt attack. This one's blocked, partially deflected by Johnson. Oh, it's Frew again, and this one's blocked by Johnson. She sent that one right back, and Gutierrez had little chance to dig that one out. 18-14 now is the score.
No, what was even more impressive about that is those solo block by Lily Johnson. And if you see in the whole OEC, I believe that the Pirates actually lead all teams in solo blocks with 140. So shows you how skilled they are just by themselves and not creating a wall.
Lily Johnson out of Boise, Idaho, went to Timberline High School. A sophomore for this Pirates team, as it's another point for the Pirates. 18-15 is the score.
There's another point for Lualdi. It looked like she was about to power that ball right through. Instead, nice little brush of the ball. Goes right into the center of the court. No defenders around there.
This one, the serve by Kanoy, right into the top of the net. Point for the Hornets on the service error. 19-15 is the score.
No, as surprising as it is, still in this first set, that's barely the first service error for the Pirates.
We've seen that cleaned up today on the Pirates end. 19-15 is the score. Fullerton Hornets lead over Orange Coast. Sam Longstreet blocks this one over, picks up the point for the Hornets. 20-15 they lead in this first set.
And again, Sam Longstreet leading blocker for the Hornets. She's trying to just stuff every ball that comes near her way. Good job on that previous play.
And I like that it was a solo block too, because we just saw an impressive solo block from Johnson. Longstreet basically said, anything you could do, I can do better, as this one's going to be shanked by Kanoy. It's a point for the Hornets. 21-15 is the score. Substitution as Coffin subs out. Rochelu going to check in.
Just to continue from what we've been saying, again, another great serve by Faith Webb that is just giving the Hornets these free attacks and free points as well.
Here's a jump serve. It's a floating serve as the ball doesn't have any spin on it. And here's another solo block from Longstreet. 2 huge blocks in this first set.
And what you love about it is that it's almost at near the end of the first set. These points matter. Every point matters as the set comes up. There's still Hornets up by 7.
22-15 is the score. Here's a high arching serve by Webb. Now the Hornets get it back, get into their play set. Frew right into the double block. This one's going to be shanked by Johnson. 22-16 is the score at the tail end of this first set.
Love the hustle by Hannah Tobin, try to reach that one, but went right into the crowd. You can feel the intensity just kind of lifting for both teams as well.
Good sized crowd out here today. Not as big as the crowd we saw against Irvine Valley College, the #1 team in the state. As Frew hits another powerful strike from that outside hitter position. No chance for the Pirates, and now the Hornets lead 23-16.
As you see a few substitutions for the Hornets. Now we have Samantha Swanson back on the court, as well as Chloe Johnson.
23-16 is the score. Hornets lead. Here's Swanson now serving for the Hornets. This one is going to be shanked by Webb. Goes off the top of the ceiling, but it's a point for the Pirates. 23-17 is the score as Coffin makes her way back in for Rochelu.
Very impressed by Lualdi's power so far. She's been successfully, I think already has about 4 points in this first set. She's just finding a way to just power through and not allowing anybody to block her shots.
She's come up big this year for the Pirates. She has 109 kills on the season, 125 points on the year. This one's a free play. Jenstad gets this one over with a nice diving dig. Now Frew gets this one over and through the double block as Coffin cut it. Dinosaur dig it out. 24-17 is the score. Hornets lead.
Like that dinosaur dig, like that short arm. I like that one.
Did my volleyball term research there. It's when a player goes up for a block. They get partially blocked, but it lands on their side. Then have to kind of make their arms like a little dinosaur arms, T-Rex arms. Try and dig it out over the net. This one's now blocked by Jenstad. Pirates are able to recover. Pushed over by Coffin. Here's Vayo on the back set. This one's going to deflect out of bounds on the Pirates, and it's going to be a point for the Hornets. So this is how this one ends, by a final score of 25-17. Hornets win that first set over Orange Coast College. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK, where the Hornets just won that first set by a final score of 25-17. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez and Ryan Osborne. What impressed you most in that first set?
Noah, what impressed me most is how Fullerton was able to manage the kind of different emotions that happened during that first set. They started off with a really quick start, getting a lot of serves in. They actually got 2 aces within the first 10 points of that first set. And then as soon as that first timeout was called by Coach Cutnese and the Pirates, everything changed. The momentum started to shift, and now you start seeing both teams, okay, trying to work on their strategy. Then in that middle of that first set, you start seeing Fullerton making a few mistakes, hitting the ball way past the out-of-bounds lines. You start seeing them try to make these quick decisions to think that they're going to fool the Pirate defense, and instead ends up hitting the net. But again, it's not how about you start, it's about how you finish. And they love the actual perseverance that they had to kind of keep going in that first set. And then you start seeing the power by Sailor Frew, and you start seeing Faith Webb with a successful service, aces. Again, you just got to love how they just push through and stay consistent, not allowing whatever's going on the court to affect them, and they took that first set.
You mentioned Webb. She had 3 service aces in that first set. You also mentioned Frew, too, the powerful outside hitter for this Fullerton Hornets team. She was lucky and nice enough to stop by last Saturday against when Fullerton Hornets took on Palomar College last Saturday, and she stopped by an interview with Mark Pavlovich, the voice of Fullerton College football. But she was telling us how a lot of the colleges D1 at the D1 level, they're looking for players to hit 70 miles per hour, and sometimes when I watch Frew hit, it looks like she's getting near 70, but she says that she's nowhere near. I can only imagine how hard a 70 miles per hour hit is. But one thing that she did also say that Mark and her chatted about, how volleyball is similar to football, and one thing that I'll counterpart argue her, volleyball, you get to use those timeouts a little bit differently, right? You were talking with you just mentioned Coach Cutnese uses timeout. Then you kind of see Orange Coast regain that momentum, regain that composure. And in volleyball, granted they have more timeouts, but they're able to use those timeouts to regather themselves a lot more than football you see.
No, you said it perfectly. It is strictly used for strategy. Sometimes you don't even want to mention, like Coach Cutnese maybe doesn't even want to mention anything to his squad. Maybe it's just to slow down the Hornets, slow down their play. That way everything kind of simmer down, and then when the timeout comes back, okay, your team is fresh, you're refocused, and you're ready to play on the court.
And you're a basketball guy, too. That's something you see in basketball. It's also worth noting, 90.1 KBPK will having Fullerton College basketball this Friday, November 1st, as they take on Vanguard University. They open up the season. First game of the 2019-2020 season, coming off a state championship run, so that'll be fun to see Coach Perry Webster and the boys in action. As we're just ready for this second set of play, a reminder you're listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez and Ryan Osborne for tonight's match between the Orange Coast College Pirates and the Hornets of Fullerton College.
As we have the Pirates, their side out, they're going to start this second set. So we have Thea Snyder ready to serve. Let's see what type of mindset and energy the Pirates come out with. It's currently on the court. You have Thea Snyder. You also have Jocelyn Martinez, Lualdi, as well as Mahina Kanoy. Now Fullerton setting up the attack. Nice little dink pass right there by Faith Webb, and ends up leading to the first point of the set for the Hornets.
You like the hustle there by Lualdi. She hits the floor. She tries to dig that one out, but unfortunately just a little too slow to the ball. First point goes to the Hornets.
So now it's Fullerton side out. Faith Webb ready to serve. She was very successful in that first set. Able to clip the net. It leads to Longstreet trying to kill that one, but play continues. As now the attack in the middle of the court for Fullerton. Dug out by Takeda Robbins. Now there's going to be a block by Fullerton. Ball is still alive, but now it's a free play for the Hornets. Now they set up for Sailor Frew, who's trying to bomb that one, cross-court it, but the rally is still going. Now this little block right there by Lualdi. And now Frew is going to try to toss that one over, but it's going to be a double hit against the Hornets, so that'll be the first point for the Pirates.
That was the longest rally of the night, and what you like to see from both teams, really good communication, not just between the libero, but between everybody on this team. All 6 girls on both sides communicating very well.
So Lualdi serving that one up. So now it's set up far side for Sailor Fru, was able to kill that one near the baseline.
And there's that powerful kill, that powerful strike that she has. If it's not 70 miles per hour, it's really close, but she's very good when she gets her approach right. She comes up to the net. She gets a nice vertical, too, and she has good awareness, too, because we've seen her hit the nice little dink and dunks. She's also able to float it over the top.
Well, Noah, we're courtside, and it feels like she's hitting 7 miles an hour, so I'll give her that. As we have a nice little cross-court cut right there by Kanoe for the Pirates. Ties this matchup, they set up actually 2-2 in this second set.
So let's get you the 6 on the floor for the Pirates. Johnson is out there with Coffin, Kanoe, Snyder, Lualdi, and Robbins will be doing the serving. For the Hornets, Genstad, Johnson, Fru, Tobin, Webb, and Gutierrez are the 6 out there.
Great pass right there for the Fullerton Hornets. Chloe Johnson just pushing that ball right through. Defenders were caught off guard. Pirates could not get that ball back in play.
And I think that was Robbins who did hit it over the net, but she hit it on the outside of the antenna. That's a thing. Remember, in volleyball, you have to hit it in between the antennas. It's okay if you're out of bounds, but you got to angle it in the game, in the field to play.
Snyder setting up far side of the court for the Pirates. And now the attack comes right through the middle for Genstad. Now Snyder setting up for Kanoe. Kanoe with a nice little brush of the ball, floats it up, hits right in the middle of the court.
Campfire between 3 Hornet players. Webb did make a diving attempt, but just a little too late.
We have a substitution right here as Bailey Coffin comes out, sits on the bench, and Presley Richelieu comes in to start serving.
Sophomore out of Fountain Valley High School.
As that one goes out of bounds for the Hornets, against the Hornets actually. So now set is tied up 3-3. As Richelieu, as I think I said it the first time.
I forgive you.
Yeah, thank you. Now Fullerton setting it up for Genstad. A nice little block. And now another great hit by Kanoe, but ends up going way past the out-of-bounds line. So point for Fullerton.
Yeah, it looks like she hit that one at the ball's peak, but she didn't time that well with her jump because it got no downward angle on it. So that one sails out of bounds.
As Bailey Coffin comes in for Richelieu for the Pirates. Now the ball ends up getting spiked down by Genstad. Hits right off the chest of the defender, and it's a point for Fullerton.
I thought it was the face. I think it hit her right in the forehead. I believe that was Johnson who took the meat of that one on that play, and it falls out of bounds too, so point for the Hornets.
So now we have Fullerton with Sailor Fru clipping the net on that serve. So now Hornets ready for the attack on the near side. Couldn't get it over the wall of the Pirates, but Fullerton gets another chance as Genstad is able to try to bomb that through the ball. Now Fullerton giving it off to Genstad again. Here comes the attack by Thea Snyder and the Pirates. And that's going to be a successful kill by Lily Johnson.
Yeah, and it looked like Genstad put her hands up for the block attempt, couldn't get it on the other side to the Pirate side, and unfortunately deflects to an area where no one was vacating for that Hornets team.
Score is tied 5-5 in this second set as Kanoe blasts that ball. It almost hits us here at the announce table, so it's going to be point for the Pirates. Score is now 6-5.
Good time to mention the referees in tonight's match. The up ref, Dusty Orvis, and on the downside, Todd Livedall.
It's Kanoe with a strong serve, but it's going to go out of bounds on that play. So now the score is tied 6-6 in this second set.
And you love the awareness there by Gutierrez. She's the vocal leader on this team as the libero. She ducks out of the way. She knew where that back line was, and she lets that one sail out of bounds.
So now it's Fullerton side out. Mackenzie Genstad. Nice little float serve. Goes over, and look who's there. Samaria Longstreet to just tip that one down.
Longstreet had a big first set. She had 2 solo blocks, 3 if you give her the combined double block in that first set. The lone player on this team that played on last year's team, the first season of Megan Glennie.
Fullerton now in the lead, 7-6 in this second set. Now Snyder setting up for Luwaldi. Straight bombs that ball on the near side of the court.
And between Luwaldi and Frew of Fullerton College, I mean, we're seeing two very talented outside hitters that have a lot of velocity on it when the ball leaves their hands.
So now the score is tied 7-7 in this second set. Side out for the Pirates. Now Chloe Johnson trying to get out to Longstreet, gets blocked, but it's still Fullerton ball, and it ends up being Faith Webb who gets that deflection off of Luwaldi and gets the point for Fullerton.
And that play was made possible by Longstreet being able to dinosaur dig it out, right? She went up for the block, landed on her side. She was able to hit it, and she was able to get it in the area where Frew was able to pass it over to her teammate.
Score is 8-7. Fullerton currently up in this second set is Luwaldi. Nice dig right there by Gutierrez, but they're not able to capitalize as the ball ends up going out of bounds from a hit by Faith Webb, I believe.
And that's the one thing we mentioned at the last play. Webb hit it over, but Frew was the one who set it up. And I like that Frew is able to do so much for this Hornets team, whether it's getting the aces, whether it's getting for the kill attempts, assisting the ball, digging the ball out, going for blocks. She really does it all, and she really basically orchestrates the offense and the points for this Fullerton team.
As Fullerton with the ball ends up being a point for the Pirates. Ended up being a push. Too much touch right there. A lift, actually, as I got help from Ryan. So now the score is 9-8. Pirates are up in this second set. Thea Snyder ready to serve. She actually leads the Pirates with 16 aces. She gets it over. Now Fullerton ready for the attack on the far side of the court. And it's Faith Webb who gets the deflection and goes out of bounds. Point for Fullerton.
And you see there Coffin, she looks down at her hands. Wasn't positioned correctly. She had them angled outwards. And that's why as soon as it hit her hands, went towards out of bounds. And it's a point for the Hornets.
So the score is tied 9-9 here in this second set. Faith Webb ready to serve. As it gets it over the net. Now Snyder. Nice little quick set on that one to Jocelyn Martinez. But Fullerton able to dig it out, and Sailor Frew gets that one to float and hit right on the baseline.
You know, your enunciation of Frew right there gave me a good idea. I mean, if the fans, after Frew scores a point, maybe do a little Frew chant.
I mean, I think you're going to start something, though. I think you're starting something. As Ryan not liking that comment, as now Fullerton with the lead in the second set, 10-9, as Jocelyn Martinez answers back with a kill of her own.
And it was good awareness there, too. Martinez saw that there was no one vacating that back left part for the Hornets. Easy point for the Pirates.
Much more intense second set now. The score is tied again, 10-10. As Pirates now serving up. Fullerton giving off to Sailor Frew for the attack on the far side. But now Thea Snyder giving it off to Jocelyn Martinez, but ended up hitting the net as she went for that attack. So now it's going to be, actually, it's going to be point in favor of the Pirates. So it seems like a net was touched by one of the Fullerton players. So now Pirates are up by one, 11-10. Johnson giving it off to the far side of the court to Sailor Frew. And she's having a lot of success on the far side for the Hornets.
And what you like about both these teams as you watch them play, both very communicative. Watch them communicate as both teams' liberos direct traffic, set up the plays, and you see the setter run to wherever the ball needs to be set and get her pass in order. You love seeing the chemistry and the communication between both these teams.
Samantha Swanson just checked in for Longstreet. She's serving duties. Now Johnson communicating, trying to set it up to Sailor Frew, hits the top of the net. And now it's the Pirates ready for the attack, and they're able to get the point on that previous play.
Good shot, cut shot there by Coffin as she was able to angle it, and Johnson was just out of position to make the diving dig attempt there.
As we see Jocelyn Martinez take a seat for the Pirates. Pirates currently with the lead 12-11 in this second set. We have Terry Taquita Robbins ready to serve. She angles that one to the far side. Now Fullerton ready to attack as Sailor Frew tries to get that one over. Now Snyder giving it off to Coffin, who gets that one blocked. There's a nice little joust at the net. Fullerton trying to keep the play going, but could not get it over the net. So now the Pirates with a 2-point lead in this second set, 13-11.
Yeah, the communication stopped there. They all kind of looked at each other, say, hey, who's got it, who's got it, who's got it? Gutierrez tries to make a diving and dig attempt. Frew tries to recover off of hers. Misplay. Unfortunate that they can't do so.
Takeda Robbins gets that one over. Now the attack far side. Sailor Frew again. But Thea Snyder's able to set it up now for Kanoy. As the ball ends up hitting the antenna in the net. And it's going to end up being point for the Pirates. So it's going to be a timeout, first timeout of this second set. You're listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. We're in the second set. The Pirates currently in the lead 14-11. Noah, what are some of the differences that you're seeing between both of these teams as compared from the first set to now the second set?
Well, I like that Orange Coast has been the aggressor in a lot of their offensive play sets. They've been obviously more communicative, which has allowed them less free balls for the Hornets. And so they really put the Hornets in the defensive whenever they have to serve. And essentially that's what you want. As if you're the Pirates, you want to get out to a quick spark, especially being on the road. The last time these two teams played, straight clean sweep for the Fullerton Hornets. You want to be able to at least create some momentum for your Orange Coast, win a set or two, and you never know what could happen if you do.
And then another thing, Noah, I wanted to mention is the Pirates actually last time they faced off against Fullerton, they had no service aces at all. So hopefully they can they're having a lot more success, with Lualdi and with Takeda Robbins trying to serve the ball up in positions to kind of make it tough for Fullerton to get the ball back. Hopefully they kind of step it up with their service aces to get more free points as Fullerton did in that first set.
Let's go ahead and take some time to review the Orange Empire Conference standings, too. At the top of those standings, Irvine Valley College has the Lasers undefeated on the year, 17-0, 10-0 in Orange Empire Conference play. Fullerton College right behind them, 12-7, 7-2 in conference play. Those two losses via the Lasers. And right behind them, Orange Coast College, 14-4 overall, but they are 7-3 in conference play, so they sit alone in third place.
And Noah, just when you were mentioning right there, you can see a nice little solo block by Lily Johnson. Again, just so much effectiveness, not having the help from her team, and she's still able to block those big shots for Fullerton.
She now has 55 blocks on the year.
As Takeda Robbins with a nice little float serve, but now the attack is for Fullerton, and Sailor Frew gets one of her kills blocked. Now here comes Thea Snyder setting it up for Lily Johnson, and it ends up going out of bounds on that one. So now Fullerton with the point. The score is now 15-12. Pirates are still up by 3 as we have a substitution. We have Chloe Johnson back on the court. She's going to serve for the Fullerton side out. Now Chloe Johnson giving it off. Ends up being Thea Snyder now setting it up for Lualdi. Now Fullerton attacking from the far side. Sailor Frew is just having so much success on that far side for Fullerton.
To round off the Orange Empire Conference standing, Cypress 9-6 on the year, 5-4 in conference play. They're ranked 24th in the state. Golden West, who we saw 2 weeks ago, 11-5 overall, 5-5 in conference play. RCC, Riverside City College, 10-10 on the year, 4-6 in conference play.
And another kill. I feel like every time you were talking about the standings, it ends up being Lily Johnson who just kills that one against the Fullerton defense.
A very talented middle for this Pirates team. Standing at 6'1", the tallest player on this Orange Coast roster.
As you have a substitution for the Pirates, Presley Richelieu comes in for Bailey Coffin. Now she's ready to serve. Now Frew, who dug that one out, gets it right back, and she's able to pound that ball near the baseline for another point for the Fullerton Hornets.
It almost seems like these two players are going back and forth for the Hornets and Pirates between Frew and Johnson, and then Frew and Coffin, Longstreet and Johnson. The two outsides and two middles battling it out in today's game.
As it ends up being a point for the Fullerton Hornets. Nice serve by Sailor Frew, and Coffin was not able to bump that one to her teammates. Score is 16-15. Pirates are still up by 1 in the second set. Frew still serving and got a little too aggressive on that one. Ends up going out of bounds.
First service error for Fullerton on the evening.
As the score is now 17-15. Pirates are up by 2. You have Mahina Kanoy serving it up for Fullerton. Now Johnson giving off to Webb, who gets rejected by the wall. Now Frew setting it up to Riley Vayo. The rally continues. Lily Johnson with a nice little dink push on that one. Now Faith Webb tries to return with her own little dink pass. And now Coffin is able to try to hit that one on the back row and ends up hitting the line for a point for the Pirates.
To round off the Orange Empire Conference setting, bottom 3 teams, Saddleback 9-9 overall, 4-6. They're tied with RCC, Santa Ana College, 4-14 overall, 1-9 in conference play. And tied with them, Santiago Canyon, who's also 1-9 in conference play.
And a block right there by Lualdi and Lily Johnson. Again, after you were saying the standings, great block, not allowing the Fullerton Hornets to get that one back in play. Now they're currently up by 4.
Good news, Victor. I'm done with the standings. So.
Thank you, Noah, as Mahina Kanoi gets another service point for her squad, and Megan Glennie calls her second timeout of this set. We're in the second set here on Colleen Riley Court. You're listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. The score currently is 20-15. Pirates are up by 5, their largest lead of the set so far. Noah, what's impressed you so much about Orange Coast College so far in this second set?
Well, I think what's impressed me most is, like I said, they've stayed the aggressor. But I think when you're looking at Fullerton's side, I like the timeout here by Megan Glennie because they're playing very uncharacteristic right now. They're unable to return some of these serves. Just miscommunication here, and they're not playing their style of volleyball that we've seen in the second set. And I think that really goes in hand to the way Coach Cutnese has come out and brought out this Pirates team in this second set. Like I said, they're just playing very aggressive. The serves have been the same, but we're seeing that Fullerton team unable to return some of these, or sometimes shaking them on that first hit, which kind of throws their offense out of whack.
Good point, and I also like the mindset that the Pirates have come out with. They're just unfazed. They forgot about that first set. They're like, all right, well, let's just move on, and now they are just looking to try to take this second set and even up this match.
It's a very competitive team for the Pirates. Thea Snyder, Coach Cutnese highlighted her before the game. One of the most competitive girls that he's ever been around. He's coached for 30 years here at Orange Coast College. Been around a lot of volleyball.
As both teams are back on the floor, you have Mahina Kanoi, Takeda Robbins, Coffin, Thea Snyder, Lily Johnson, and Lualdi for the Pirates. And it's going to be the first ace for the Pirates on the serve. And it ends up being Mahina Kanoi, who before this game had 14 aces on the season. Score is 21-15. Pirates up by 6. Kanoi giving out. Frew is able to bump that one over. And now Genstad trying to go for the kill, but ends up getting blocked. And who else but Lily Johnson to get that block?
That's 6 straight points for the Pirates.
They're a few points away from taking this second set against Fullerton. The score is 22-15. Kanoi continuing the strong service game. Now they set it up to Webb on the far side of the court. Now Johnson trying to push that ball over. Here comes a free play. Snyder notices there's nobody in the middle of the court, and she quickly taps that ball over.
Very good awareness, very smart play there by a smart player in herself. Coach was praising about her GPA above a 3.5, but she found that vacated spot because Frew was still running back onto the court.
Kanoi gets that one to the left side of the Fullerton defense, and that's her second service ace in this second set. Score is 24-15. It is game point in this second set.
7 straight points here by the Pirates, just very uncharacteristic of them.
There's a great save by Priscilla Gutierrez as the ball clipped the net from the Kanoi serve. Now Lualdi's crack ends up getting blocked. And now here comes Chloe Johnson. Quick sets it right over to Genstad. The rally continues. Here comes Kanoi from the back row. Gutierrez bumps it over. Johnson. And now Faith Webb gets her shot blocked. And just like that, Lily Johnson's block leads to the last point of this second set. And the Orange Coast Pirates have tied this matchup so far. They take the second set 25-15. No, I mean, you mentioned it a lot during the timeouts. I mean, Orange Coast just was the aggressor in that second set. Lily Johnson just getting blocks, solo blocks, assist blocks with Lualdi. What do you think the mindset should be for Fullerton now that they know that they're evened up now? How they should come out in that third set?
I think they got to use this set, the break in between sets, kind of like as a timeout, as they would kind of regather themselves. That was a very tough set for Frew. There was a few plays where she let balls go, thinking they were going to sail out of bounds. Instead, they go inbounds, and that's very uncharacteristic of her, but she will bounce back in this third set. like I said, I think Coach Megan Glenny, Coach Philip Tomacic, Coach Cecilia Aragao, the coaching staff here at Fullerton College, they're very confident and very comfortable with these girls and getting them to do what they want to do and kind of regathering them via timeouts or these breaks in between the sets. You mentioned, though, Johnson. She had 5 kills in the set, 2 blocks as well to contribute. So it was really her dominating that second set for the Pirates. It was competitive, but towards the end, Pirates kind of ran away with that one.
No, and you mentioned it. It was very competitive. There was a lot of ties. Teams trying to take the lead, but they couldn't. And it wasn't until the end where the service game started helping out the Pirates. You had Kanoy just serving beautifully, positioning that ball and placing that ball in a place where Fullerton could not return it. And that's, I think, what gave them that second set.
And at the community college level, that's key because you're not going to be hitting it harder than anyone's ever seen here at the community college level. But it's all about the placement. Hey, if you mix it up with some top spin here, or maybe you do a jump serve there, you're directing it towards, maybe you do a floating serve and the ball has no spin. So you just keep the defense on your toes, and it's a little harder to predict where that serve is going to go, and that goes in favor of if you're on the offense.
As we have still in between sets as we're waiting for the third set to start. You have Orange Coast already on the floor. You have Lualdi, Jocelyn Martinez, Thea Snyder, Lily Johnson, and Bailey Coffin with Takeda Robbins about to be stepping on the floor. Orange Coast looks ready, like they're ready to start it. They want to keep up that momentum and energy that they had in that second set, Noah.
Well, that's the toughest thing about volleyball. In between sets, you kind of have that time for both teams to kind of regroup and regather. And, you know, it's not in favor if you're the hot team riding that, that win streak. They finished that set off with 9 straight points to close out that second set. So, they're the team that's feeling it. They just want to get out there.
Now for the Fullerton Hornets, we have Samaria Longstreet. Also have Chloe Johnson, Hannah Tobin, Priscilla Gutierrez, Mackenzie Genstad, and Sailor Frew, who was having a lot of success, like I mentioned, where she was just dominating that far side of the court. Let's see if she can continue that to give some help for this Fullerton squad.
So things all tied up here, 1 apiece between Orange Coast College and Fullerton College. It'll be Fullerton's side out first to begin this third set. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez and Ryan Osborne for tonight's match. 2 top 25 volleyball teams. As well, we'll be serving first for the Hornets. Martinez gets this one over. It's a joust between Martinez and Johnson, and Frew hits this one into the middle of the net. First point goes to the Pirates.
I like the idea by Frew on that one. It seemed like she jumped a little too late on that one and stuffed it right into the net.
Now it'll be Lualdi to serve for the Pirates, the freshman out of Newport Harbor High School. As Coffin hits this one right into the double block. Now Frew getting into the play set for the Hornets as Longstreet hits it over. Here's Coffin again. Gutierrez able to pancake this one over. No. Didn't hear a whistle there, but they're going to give the point for the Pirates. 2-0 is the score.
No, it was a really late call. It seemed from our vantage point that Priscilla was able to get that pancake, but apparently it hit the floor.
Lualdi to serve again. Floating serve, no spin on this one. Johnson's going to have to hit this one over, so it's a free play. Martinez dug out by Tobin. This one's off the top of the net, but gets over for the Hornets, and Longstreet blocks this one right back into the chest of Robbins, and she didn't know what to do with it.
That play almost broke down for the Fullerton Hornets. I mean, on one of those digs, you could hear Chloe Johnson just communicating, yelling, hey, it's your ball, your ball, your ball. And they kept that play alive, so very fortunate they were able to save that one. Got that block by Longstreet.
And that's a tough thing when a team is riding an 8-game win streak. They're winning a lot of games, especially with ease, and then they face a tough opponent like Irvine Valley College last week and then lose. Where does that momentum go? And we're seeing a little bit here in this second and third set specifically, because in that first set, they're playing like the Fullerton team that we saw during that win streak. Here, now they're starting to make a little bit more mental errors. The communication hasn't been there as they trail 3-1 in this third set early on. Fullerton 7-2 in conference play. Orange Coast College 7-3. Both teams looking to pick up their 8th victory, as this one's going to be an out via the Pirates, so it'll be a point for the Hornets. 2-3, they trail in this third set.
It deflected off of Bailey Coffin, but Noah, you gotta love the hustle that Lily Johnson, Lualdi, and Bailey Coffin are doing. They're trying to get their hands on every ball that goes near the net, so good effort so far.
Johnson now will be serving for the Hornets. Blocked by Genstad, and that's going to be a point for the Hornets. 3-3 now in this third set.
Kanoy wasn't ready for that ball, ended up hitting that one over the net, and it got immediately blocked, and it's came right back at her when she was still in midair. So unfortunate for Kanoy.
Johnson, that freshman from Langley, Washington. Saylor bumps it over, but it's a free play now for the Pirates if they can get into their play. Coffin gets it over. Here's Frew. Over the top of the double block. This one gonna sail out of bounds off the hand of Kanoy. Point for the Hornets as they take their first lead in this third set, 4-3.
Kanoy trying to end that point with a nice little cross-court cut on that ball, but a little too strong, and it sailed out.
Hornets and the Pirates are tied 1 apiece via the sets. They're now tied 4-4 here in this third set. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. Noah Alvarez joined by Ryan Osborne and Victor Vasquez for tonight's volleyball match between Orange Coast College and Fullerton College. Johnson over to Webb, and Webb a little too strong on her attack. 5-4 now, the Pirates lead.
Got to be very careful, especially with now tied a set apiece. The decision-making has got to be a lot more intense, more tough, but you got to make the right decision for your squad.
Richelieu serving for the Pirates as the Hornets now get into their play set. It's a backcourt attack for Webb. Now here's Johnson, and Johnson hits it right in between Johnson and Webb over on the Hornets side. A campfire. 6-4 now is the score.
Lily Johnson already through these 3 sets has had so many kills where she hits it at the perfect place right in the middle of the defense where there is no Fullerton defender around.
Webb gets this one just past the block attempt of Johnson, and it's a point for the Hornets. 6-5. You'd like to see that play there by Webb. We haven't seen that in a while.
Yes, and that beautiful kill by Saylor Frew. I mean, so far through these last 7 matches, she's actually got 10 or more kills, so hopefully she can continue that streak.
Webb will now be, Frew, will be serving now for the Hornets. Genstad now picks up a point. You like to see the aggressiveness here for the Hornets as these last 2 plays, they've become the aggressor. They've had much better first and second hits, which has allowed them to get into their play set.
And it's something you mentioned during one of the timeouts is that, okay, maybe whoever's going to be the aggressor is going to try to take control of this game. Ends up leading to another point for Fullerton on that serve.
Coffin shanks this one, and the Hornets retake the lead 7-6. Frew, the sophomore out of Norco High School, floating serve. Nice little arc to that one as they run a decoy for Johnson. Goes to Kanoy on the outside. Here's the Waldy, who gets it over after hitting the top of the net. Now Vayo hits this one too strong, and it's a point for the Pirates. Things are all tied up at 7 apiece.
Vayo trying to find the open space on the court, but hit that one a little too strong. Point for the Pirates.
Now I'm going to need your help, partner, for this one. Kanoy, she's from what high school?
She is from Kamehameha High School in Hawaii.
Her serve is a lead ball as it hits the top of the net, rolls over, and it's a point opportunity for the Pirates as they now lead 8-7 and retake that lead.
I know, remember when I first saw that, if you're a big Dragon Ball Z fan, it's said a different way, but no, that is the proper way. Kamehameha on that one.
Now Webb for the Hornets. She angles this one just past the double block. And Genstad comes up with a block of her own, a solo block, her second of this set. It's now 8-8. 8-8 now is the score in this third set. Hornets and the Pirates are tied at 1 set apiece, 1-1 here in this third set. Genstad serving for the Hornets. Luwaldi hits this one too long, but it's deflected. That's what the referees are going to say with. I didn't see a deflection, but it's going to be a point for the Pirates. Nonetheless, 9-8 the score here.
Likewise, partner, I didn't really see any of the deflections by the Fullerton Hornets, so fortunate for the Pirates to get that point.
Dusty Orvis, the up referee, making the call on that one. Johnson now back-setting it for Longstreet. And Longstreet with the penetration, gets her hand over the net, slams it down. 8-9. Things are all tied up 9-9 here in this third set.
And Noah, you can see on that play where the Pirates, they didn't think that the ball was going to go over on that net, so a lot of players are already still on their side thinking, okay, we're ready to attack, we're ready to attack. Nope, Longstreet just came up and just spiked that one down.
Here's Coffin, hits this one too long, another point for the Hornets, 2-0 run. 10-9 is the score in this third set.
Noah, very similar to how the second set was, where it just keeps going ties, maybe, you know, lead changes, but let's see if Fullerton can continue this streak with a good serve.
Vio still serving, the freshman out of Yucca Valley High School. This one's hit right into the double block of Johnson and Longstreet, and it's a double hit. Double hit violation called on the Pirates. 11-9 is the score. Hornets on a nice little 3-0 run.
Momentum is starting to shift for Fullerton as Vio still serving for the Hornets.
No service aces on the year as she hits this one directly in the back of the head of Longstreet. 11-10 now is the score. Pirates trail by 1, stops a 3-0 run for the Hornets.
Hopefully it was nothing personal where something happened like that and she wanted to hit Sam, but you know.
She took that one like a champ, didn't even get phased. As now Thea Snyder will be serving the lefty. Little southpaw action. Longstreet from the middle position. Able to dig her own shot that gets blocked. Snyder now to Martinez, and Longstreet comes up with a big block right there. 12-10 is the score, and the bench is loving it.
Noah, you mentioned that term. What is that term? The dinosaur arm one?
Dinosaur dig.
Dinosaur dig.
Dinosaur
she got that
dig.
dinosaur dig and ended up deflecting it, and that's what kept that point alive because it went right to Sailor Frew, and then she ends up getting that block to seal the point for Fullerton.
Yeah, there's your volleyball term for the day, dinosaur dig. As Webb serving for the Hornets as they lead 12-10 against Orange Coast College. Now here's Frew again. She angles this one differently and gets the point for the Hornets.
It's deflected. Jocelyn Martinez was trying to get a hand on that one. Instead deflects off, hits the other side against Pirates. So it's a point for Fullerton.
But you see when the Hornets can make a really nice play and a nice contact on their first and second hit, they get into that offensive play for Frew or Longstreet, whoever it is, they're just hard to stop. Here's Frew again, angles this one across court. Floater here by Coffin, it's a joust, and the Pirates are going to be the victor of that last one. They now trail 13-10 here in this third set.
Chloe Johnson was really hoping in that joust. She was trying to push that one a little bit stronger, but instead goes against Fullerton, who are still up by 2.
Now Luwaldi will be serving. It's another joust, and Priscilla Gutierrez can't get to this one as Johnson and Martinez met at the top of the net. Went onto the Fullerton side, and it's going to be a point for the Pirates. Coach Cutney's telling Luwaldi where to serve it to as Longstreet now gets a play for her. And this one off the deflection of the block by Martinez. It's going to be a point for the Hornets. They lead 14-12 midway through the third set.
Thea Snyder tried all she could to try to dive for that one, but could not save it. Great shot and hit by Longstreet.
The sophomore out of Lakewood High School leading the charge for this Hornets team. She gets subbed out by Samantha Swanson as we get you the 6 on the floor for each team after It's a point for the Hornets. 14-13 is the score for the Hornets, the 6 on the floor.
Kanoe returning exactly the same shot that the Fullerton Hornets were able to do on the previous play. Just kind of tipped that ball right over and let it land in the middle of the court. No defenders around to save it.
Chloe Johnson, Sailor Frew, Mackenzie Janstad, Faith Webb, Priscilla Gutierrez, and Hannah Tobin round up the Fullerton 6. As there's a little scoreboard issue. Referees correct that. It's 14-13 in favor of the Hornets here in this third set. Things are all tied up at 1 set apiece. The 6 on the floor for the Pirates as Robbins serves this one. She's joined by Lualdi, by Kanoe, Johnson, Schuler, who we're seeing for the first time tonight, and Thea Snyder. Now here's Kanoe. Taps this one over. Fullerton able to recover, and Webb can't get this one over the net, so it'll be a point for the Pirates. Things are all tied up at 14 apiece.
You're starting to see Fullerton making a bit of mistakes now, touching the net, just not being able to get their shots off like they did at the beginning of this third set. Let's see what Pirates can do now.
Amanda Schuler, number 19, first time we're seeing her tonight, the freshman out of University High School.
As there was a call.
Looks like one of the Hornet players stepped over the line, so it'll be a point for the Pirates after the violation. 15-14, the Pirates lead over Fullerton. Things are all tied up at 1 set apiece. Here's the play for Jenstad. Jenstad gets this one in the back left corner, inbounds. Things tied back up, 15 apiece.
And Noah, you like that. Even though they got called for that lane violation, almost like that line violation, they didn't really phase them on that previous play. Jenstad just went up, spiked that ball as hard as she could, and got that point. That's exactly what they needed to get back into this game.
15 all. Now serving for the Hornets, Chloe Johnson. The team setter. One of the 2 setters that they use very often. Her and Karen Delgadillo rotate time. As Kanoe gets her shot blocked, but it's on the side of the Hornets. Now here's Frew. Frew gets one in that back right corner. They now lead 16-15 in this third set.
Frew just has an innate ability to just hit that ball perfectly. Great cross court. Hits it on the far side. Gets another point for Fullerton.
Johnson still serving for the Hornets. Now Schuler hits this one a little too low, hits the bottom of the net, point for the Hornets.
You gotta wonder if that ball almost hitting the ceiling had any effect as he tried to bump it up to Schuler on that previous play.
Looked like she got that one on the bottom of her palm too. Didn't get to hit that one cleanly, and that's why it went so low. But speaking of Chloe Johnson and Karen Delgadillo, I mean, I had the chance to catch up with Megan Glennie here for the Coaches Show on 90.1 KBPK. And she was telling that she likes to see the hustle and competition between both those players. 2 freshmen competing for the same spot. But it's a good, healthy competition. A lot of times you see both players envy one another, trying to steal the reps from one another. But very supportive the 2 girls are. As we see a nice rally between both teams. Kanoe gets it over for the Pirates. Now here's Vio. Vio with a nice soft touch. Pirates able to respond. Back and forth these 2 teams go. As this one misplayed by Robbins, and Schuler couldn't get a grip on where the ball was going to fall. It's a point for the Hornets. It's going to force Coach Cutneys to call a timeout as the Hornets now lead 18-15 in this third set. They've stolen the momentum as you're listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez and Ryan Osborne. What did you see during that run that Fullerton really improved upon?
They were making really good decisions. They weren't just kind of forcing it whenever they had a free play. Weren't just like, okay, well, hitting it right over the net, back over to Pirates. Instead, they were trying to set up their attack. They try to find the position, especially trying to see, okay, where is the defense going to shift? Where are they going to rotate? And they're just giving it off to Sailor Frew, who is just continuing to have a lot of success hitting that ball across court and just trying to find those angles. So if they can continue, hopefully they can try to take this third set Very similar to how that second set was as well, where they seemed like they were in the lead, and then all of a sudden they ran out of gas, and then Pirates took advantage.
A lot more composure here in this third set. You're right. As we look ahead at the schedule for the Hornets, the remaining schedule on the season, this Friday on November 1st, they host Santiago Canyon College. Wish we could be there for that game. However, we will be at the basketball opener of the season as the Fullerton College basketball takes on Vanguard University. Then on November 6th, a week from today, they take on Cypress College here at Colleen Riley Court. The following Friday, they host Riverside City College, and then they host Saddleback College 2 Wednesdays from today, as the final 2 games are on the road against Golden West and Santa Ana College. That's the remaining schedule here for the Fullerton Hornets in Orange Empire Conference play. Back from the timeout, Hornets lead 18-15. Frew's going to have to bump this one over. Free play now for the Pirates. Johnson hits this one a little too low. Point for the Hornets.
And it was actually Frew's bump. She had a nice little spin on that one. So the Pirates weren't able to capitalize and set up a good attack. Currently down by 4.
The spin makes a difference. Hard to return if you're the opposing Pirates team. Not expecting that spin too off a bump like that, but it shows you the talent level that Frew has. Miscommunication there. Kanoy and Lualdi both bumped that one. That's going to sail out of bounds. 20-15 is the score as the Hornets look to close things out in this third set.
Key word that you mentioned, Noah, during that timeout is composure. Who's going to have composure at the end of these sets? At the moment, it's Fullerton.
Johnson still serving. This one's going to be long. The first service error on the evening for her, as that stops an 8-0 run for the Hornets. They still lead 20-16 in this third set.
It's their 4th total service error in this match so far through 3 sets.
Serving tonight for the Pirates is Sydney McAuliffe, the first time we've seen her. It's going to be a point for the Hornets. They lead 21-16.
It's Genstad with the kill on that one. She's got 3 kills in the night so far.
Also checking in for the Pirates for the first time is Amber Lewis. So 2 new players that we haven't seen checking in as this one gets over the net, and Lewis lets this one hit the floor. You can see the frustration in her face as this one bounced on the net, on the top of the net of all places too, 2 times before it finally rolls over right in that front left corner, and that's going to force Coach Cuttanese to call a timeout. Hornets lead 22-16 here in this third set over Orange Coast College. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball on 90.1 KBPK.
Noah, you got to start wondering, especially Coach Cuttanese and the Pirates, especially when those balls go against your team, when you're like so close. Those are 50-50 balls, and it, depending on where it goes, it could either lead your team to some momentum or lead you to lose this set in the third against the Hornets. But very fortunate. I don't know if you saw who it was. I think it was Priscilla Gutierrez with a nice little quick bump on that one, and is just able to clip the net. Beautiful, beautiful play. And those are just the ones you cannot practice. They just happen in the game, but it was in favor of the Hornets.
And you like to see that too from the team, because in the second set, the Hornets were that team that halfway through kind of lost their composure, and the Pirates went on a run to close that second set out. Now here's the Pirates losing their composure a little bit, miscommunicating, shaking those first and second hits, to where now the Hornets look to close things out as they lead 22-16 in this third set.
As Noah, we see the crowd getting into it. They're pumped. You see Fullerton bench getting into this game as well.
You love to see it too. I mean, that's the one thing I've noticed about the Fullerton College atmosphere. All the student athletes support one another. You should have seen the crowd last Wednesday against Irvine Valley College. You had every sport here in attendance to support this women's volleyball team that was riding an 8-game win streak. They did lose last week. They're looking to bounce back and pick up a victory, as that's going to be a side out for the Pirates. 22-17, they trail here in this third set.
Genstad on that play ended up hitting that one way too strong. Like you mentioned last week against Irvine Valley, she had 11 kills with 2 aces, 2 blocks. Doing good so far as well.
Thea Snyder checking back in for Amber Lewis, and this one off the deflection, going to be a point for the Pirates. 23-17, the Hornets lead. 2 points away from closing this third set out.
Unfortunate for the defense of the Pirates. They were in good position, but that deflection off of Thea Snyder ended up making that ball just go flat, go right into the middle of the defense.
Jen Stad, the 5'10 freshman from Troy High School, looking to close things out here in this third set. Hornets lead 23-17. It's going to be a service error, her first on the evening. Now 23-18.
Got to be very careful if you're the Fullerton Hornets, because at any moment this Pirates team can start getting on a roll, as they did in that second set.
Johnson to serve now for the Pirates. It's a free play now for the Hornets as Lualdi smacks it over. This one is going to be a side out for the Pirates. As, was it Webb? It was like Webb.
It was Webb, yes, on that play. And the block was attempted by Thea Snyder. Some of the Pirates players thought it was going to be 4 hits, and they almost gave up on that play, but they got back into it. Unfortunate that they couldn't get the point.
Here's Lualdi, and Lualdi hits a powerful strike, but it's going to be out of bounds, so it's a point for the Hornets as they close things out here in this third set by a final score of 25-18. A reminder, you're listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. The Hornets now lead 2-1 over the Pirates of Orange Coast College. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez and Ryan Osborne. What did you see in the difference of play from Fullerton in that third set?
They continued to have consistent play as compared to they had in that second set. In the second set, they started off really well. They had a lot of energy, were trying to be as assertive as they could, but then halfway in, it kind of just dipped. Their performance dipped, and it allowed the Pirates to have successful service games, and they got that second set. In this third set, they just kept the foot on the gas pedal. They kept being aggressive, trying to get as many balls in play as they could, and that's what gave them that success, actually that third set.
And this will be the first time that I think either of us are out here and we see a game go at least 4 sets, because the game we were out for Santa Monica, sweep by the Hornets. The game we were out for Golden West, sweep by the Hornets. The game we were out there for Santa Monica, at least Ryan and I were out there, sweep by the Hornets. And then we were there for Irvine Valley College. Irvine Valley sweeps the Hornets here. Hornets lead 2-1 in sets as we just get ready to start the 4th set on the evening. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez and Ryan Osborne. One thing I did want to talk about before we get into this 4th set, and I love the fact that, this is true, but both coaches love to coach at this community college level. You look at Coach Cutnese, he's been around for 30 years. When you're coaching for that long, you have to absolutely love what you do, and he talked about it with us before the game. Loves to coach the different players that come from different backgrounds and help them get through sometimes challenging areas in life. Very similar to Coach Megan Glennie, much younger. She's only in her 2nd year as a coach here at Fullerton College program, but she loves being able to help those different levels of volleyball players that come from the high school level that maybe didn't get to go to the D1 level. She helps mold them and be a mentor for them.
And that's exactly what Cutnese was telling us. Coach Cutnese was telling us earlier in the pregame, is that he loved playing volleyball. He played for Orange Coast during his, last couple of decades, I believe, and he didn't tell us exactly what year, but he did have a lot of success. He set records at Orange Coast, and he says that he didn't even think this is what he wanted to do as a career. But he says that life just kind of leads you down that path of where sometimes the thing that you least expect is what you're going to be able to do in life, and that's exactly what he's done, and he's carried on with it, and he's had a lot of success, winning already 3 state championships with Orange Coast.
And that's something that both coaches have in common, too, because Coach Cutnese didn't have a major in physical education when he finished college. Didn't plan on coaching volleyball, but he really enjoyed the opportunity to get paid to coach volleyball. That's something that he was, kind of caught off guard by as far as professions go. The same thing with Coach Glennie, and we had the opportunity to interview her before the game. For tonight's game, that pre-recorded interview that we played before the game, she was saying the same thing. She was working an office job, found it very hectic. She thought, okay, well, hey, I can get into volleyball and kind of become a coach and go that route too. And, completely making those life switches, which you really like to see too, but both coming here at the community college level and help molding these young girls into solid athletes.
As we have the 4th set underway, we have Longstreet trying to get it through the wall of the Pirates, as there's no communication by the Orange Coast Pirates, and the Fullerton Hornets end up getting the first point of this 4th set.
And you saw Martinez right in the middle there, kind of watches. It was closest to her, but she had Coffin run all the way up trying to save that one. Miscommunication between the two, but if you're Martinez, you got to take that one.
For Fullerton, side out for them in this fourth set. As the ball goes barely over the net, and Samaria Longstreet is the first player to jump up and try to spike that one down.
And again, lack of awareness there by Martinez. She thought it was going to be a second play opportunity or second touch opportunity for Snyder to set it to her. So she was already headed towards the middle. Frew sees that and hits it over. Excuse me, Longstreet sees it.
As Faith Webb ends up burying that ball right into the net. That is only the 6th error for the serves in total through 4 sets for Fullerton. As now it's a side out for the Orange Coast Pirates. It's going to be Lualdi. Now Fullerton, Chloe Johnson. Far side attack for Sailor Frew, but it's going to be point for the Orange Coast Pirates. It's going to be 4 hits.
Martinez, Kanoy, Coffin, Snyder, and Robbins round out the 6 to join with Lualdi on the floor for the Pirates.
The score is 2-2 in this 4th set. As Sailor Frew trying again another cross-court kill, but ends up going out of bounds.
Frew, Johnson, Longstreet, Tobin, Gutierrez, and Webb are the 6 on the floor for the Hornets.
Pirates currently up in this 4th set 3-2. As Johnson sets it up for Webb as the ball ends up hitting the net in the block. So it's going to be point for the Pirates.
That's the second time we've seen it here by the Hornets in this set. One time by Frew, one time by Webb just there, where they try and make their kill attempt, but it just falls short of going above the net.
Lualdi still serving for the Pirates. Now Longstreet goes way long on that play, but it's actually going to be point for Fullerton. As I believe it seemed like there was either a touch at the net by the Pirates or deflection. And it was actually a deflection against the Orange Coast Pirates. So the score is 4-3. Pirates are still up by 1. As we have Samantha Swanson back on the court for serving duties. Takeda Robbins setting it up now. And now here comes Kanoy running in from the back row. But Fullerton giving it off to the far side to Sailor Frew as he tries to get it through the defense and ends up getting deflected and goes out of bounds. Point for Fullerton.
That's a tool for the Pirates as they get the double block, but it sails out of bounds. Point for the Hornets.
I knew I could rely on you for more volleyball terms right there. Noah. As the ball, another service error, this time by Samantha Swanson, the 2nd service error so far in this 4th set. Pirates are up by 1 now, 5-4. As we have Takeda Robbins ready to serve. She had a strong service game in the 2nd set.
She's one of 2 players on this roster from Hawaii.
As Fullerton, Priscilla Gutierrez has to bump it over. Now free attack for the Pirates. And now Fullerton has Hannah Tobin setting it to the far side for Sailor Frew, whose shot gets blocked. And now Johnson giving it off to Jenstad, who's able to get that one over, and it gets deflected off of Thea Snyder.
And you see the frustration in Snyder's face. She knew that one was going to be out of bounds, but just her instinct said, hey, stick a hand out there. And she was unable to corral that one and get a decent hit for her offense to get into play.
So you have a substitution for the Fullerton Hornets. We have Riley Vayo coming in for Hannah Tobin. As the ball ends up going against the top of the net, and that's already the 2nd play where the ball just goes barely on top of the net, and one of the Hornets is able to capitalize and bomb that ball down.
Yeah, they just have more awareness, especially for the Pirates. They're getting into the offensive play set thinking their setter is going to have the opportunity to either set it to one of their outside hitters. Unfortunately for them, they didn't realize where the ball was at, and Frew had good awareness there to find the hole for the Pirates.
As Kanoy was trying to get that one over the wall, instead it hits the top of the net. Point for Fullerton, who are currently up 7-5. As Chloe Johnson going to continue to serve. Johnson gets that one over. Now Snyder throws it up for Kanoy. That ball gets deflected by the Hornet blockers. And now Jenstad finds the hardwood for another point for the Hornets.
Tough play for Robbins there. She was trying to get into her offensive set. She's on the back pedal there, And unfortunately, the ball ran like right at her feet, and as she's backing up, she just doesn't have the ability to stop and try and make that dig out.
We're in the fourth set. Score is 8-5. Hornets are up by 3. Johnson getting that ball over the net, and look at that nice spike by Lily Johnson.
And we haven't seen a spike like that from Johnson in quite some time. I think all of the third set, she's been pretty much held neutralized. So good to see her getting that opportunity to score for her team in this fourth set now.
As we have Richelieu for the Pirates coming in for serving duties as Bailey Coffin takes a break in this fourth set, as Genstad couldn't get that one as she gets stuffed near the net, but Fullerton still able to bump that ball over, and it ends up sailing out of bounds. The score is 8-7 in this fourth set. Fullerton still up by 1, 8-7. It's Gutierrez giving it off. Now they sit up in the middle of the court for Sailor Frew. That's another kill that catches the Pirate defense off guard.
And Ryan's face says it all. I had a very similar reaction to him because that had to be Frew's strongest spike attempt of the evening.
Are you sure that's not 70 miles an hour? Because I feel like it is.
I don't know. We got to bring a radar gun next time we come out here.
Here come the Pirates attacking on the near side. Kanoi's shot gets blocked. Now here comes Kanoi once more. This time she tips it up, and this time with a nice little brush shot, gets it over the defense.
The shot there by Frew was a lot faster than some of the relievers in the World Series right now.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ryan interjecting on that one about the World Series too.
You wouldn't happen to know the score of that, would you?
It doesn't matter.
As we have Fullerton, Genstad getting it over. Now it's going to be a free play and attack for the Hornets. Far side for Faith Webb. It's up getting deflected. Now Thea Snyder trying to give Lualdi with a nice little dink pass, but it ends up being point for the Pirates. Ends up being a double hit against the Hornets. The score is 9-9 in this fourth set.
Really, guys, when you look at Sailor Frew, she's been getting over top of the ball. Yeah, she had a couple of mishits in that second frame, but she has been on top of the ball and hitting down towards the earth whenever she gets a kill attempt.
When she gets that downward angle, it's just really hard to stop her when she gets in momentum.
As the score is now 10-9 in favor of the Hornets. Mackenzie Genstad ready to serve. Genstad gets it over. Now Thea Snyder ready to set it up for Lualdi. Nice little dig by Genstad. And now Riley Valle trying to go cross court. She couldn't find that baseline.
And she wasn't at her apex on that jump there, so she couldn't get that downward angle. So she hit it still a little long there. You'd like to see her to maybe get that approach a little closer to the net, or wait till she gets to the high point of her jump and hit that one down.
Is now Lily Johnson serving it over to Fullerton. Nice little dig right there by Richelieu, but it's going to be a block by Samaria Longstreet and Riley Valle on that one to give Fullerton a point.
And Lualdi had so much torque and velocity on that one that, I mean, when it went into the arms and then the wall of Longstreet, it just went back about 10 feet away from the net, even more than 10 feet. There was no one for the Pirates there to recover.
Score is 11-10. Fullerton up by 1 as we have Kanoi trying to go for the kill, but ends up hitting the top of the net, and Fullerton was not able to bring that ball back into play.
Yeah, the net could be tricky, and especially on a serve, but especially just in a regular play too, because you never know how that ball is going to play off a net. We've seen it sometimes take that nasty spin, sometimes hang on the net, sometimes bounce on the net, sometimes they'll hit the net and just straight drop, sometimes they'll hit that net and continue on its trajectory that it was going before. So hard to read the ball off the net if you're a volleyball player.
No surprise, we're in the fourth set, and it's tied again, 11-11, as Longstreet goes for a nice little dink shot. And now it's a nice block again by Longstreet and Faith Webb. No matter who is involved, you know that Longstreet is going to be one of those blockers that's going to be involved in that play.
Yeah, her 8th block on the evening, and what I like there on that one play and why she was able to successfully block that attempt, she has her hands angled down. So as soon as the ball hits her hands, it's already on that arc, and it just goes straight down where no one can even have a chance to hit that for the Pirates.
As we have Faith Webb serving for Fullerton. Now Snyder. Behind her is Lualdi, and able to get that deflection, that wipe against the Hornets. And now the score is tied 12-12 in this fourth set.
It's another tool, this time on the Hornets, so it'll be a point for the Pirates.
So now it's going to be a side out for the Pirates. Lualdi giving it off Fullerton now. Sitting up on the far side for Frew, whose shot gets blocked. Now the ball near the net. Let's see what the Pirates can do, but because it was behind the antenna, ends up being against the Pirates. So now Fullerton is up by 1, 13-12 in this fourth set.
Yeah, that's the toughest part when you're trying to play a ball out of bounds. You got to worry about the angle, too. You got to get it inside those two antennas because that's technically the field of play through the airspace that they want that ball to travel to. So just unfortunate for Kenoi trying to do that there.
Samantha Swanson coming in now in this fourth set, ready to serve. Fullerton with a 1-point lead, 13-12. Nice little bump right there by Lualdi. As Fullerton now setting up the attack in the middle of the court for Genstad, who gets the kill. Now the score is 14-12. Hornets are up by 2. Swanson back on serve. On the floor for the Hornets, Johnson, Hannah Tobin, Faith Webb, Sailor Frew, and Genstad. As now Bailey Coffin gets her first point of this fourth set as she's able to get it right in between the two defenders of the Hornets.
Give props to the Pirates. They've been able to regather themselves after a slow start here in this fourth set. Looking to push this one to 5.
The score in this fourth set is 14-13 as Takita Robbins serving it up for the Pirates. Now Johnson gives it off to Genstad, who ends up getting her shot blocked and could not react quick enough to keep that ball going.
Looked like the Pirates had 3 blockers up there, too. A triple block attempt, and I think Johnson got the meat of that ball there and sent it back. You don't really see that too often, at least all the games that we've been out there. It's a good defensive play there by the Pirates.
Pirates tying this game up again, 14-14 in this crucial fourth set. As Takita Robbins gets that ball over. Now Johnson setting up on the far side for Sailor Frew. But the rally keeps going as Kenoi now gets that one to graze the net in favor for the Pirates as they get another point.
Not only did she graze the net too, but it was a cut shot as she was over in here in that front left corner. It's a directly diagonal to where the double block that was put up by the Hornets. Well, it didn't even phase her because it was directed towards if she was going to hit it straight back. This one she angles right to that front right side of the Hornets where no one was at.
And Sailor Frew answers right back with another 70-mile-an-hour shot. I'm just going to call it a 70-mile-an-hour shot now.
We'll just say high 60s.
High 60s, all right.
But she did the same thing that we just saw Kenoi do on that last play for the Pirates.
So the score is tied once more, 15-15. Chloe Johnson serving for the Hornets. Snyder now setting it up for Johnson. Great dig by Gutierrez for the Hornets. But the attack is still now coming from the Pirates. But Kenoi again mistimes that one, and it just stuffs it right into the net. The score is 16-15 now. Hornets up by 1. So many ties and so many lead changes. Would it be surprised if we see a few more in this fourth set as Chloe Johnson's serve goes way long on that one. So point for the Pirates.
You mentioned it, very competitive, very back and forth between these two teams. Much more evenly matched, too, than some of the other games that we've been out to this year. This by far has been the most tightly contested game.
As Richelieu comes in for the Pirates again. Now Johnson giving off to Genstad, whose dink pass gets immediately blocked by Kenoi.
This game has a lot of importance, too, because when talking with Coach Megan Glennie in that recorded interview before tonight's broadcast, she was saying that right in front of them in RPI, which is what the new thing that that the CCCA is going based off of for the playoffs, Orange Coast is 1 position ahead of them. They're 9th. Fullerton is in 10th. So if they could get a win here tonight, the Hornets would be in great shape.
As Riley Viles' attempt ends up going right in between the two defenders, but ended up being a lift against the Pirates. So the score once more is tied 17-17 with Sailor Frew up to serve for the Hornets. Frew having a lot of success. She's already got a few kills in this match, but her serve ends up going out of bounds. So now the Pirates take the lead once more in this fourth set. The score is 18-17. Kanoy ready to serve for the Pirates. She gets that one deep and over the net. Now Hornets having to scramble. They're able to bump that one over, giving the Pirates a free play as Lily Johnson trying to go into the middle of the court, but Fullerton keeps that one alive. Now Kanoy serving it up. There's a nice little bump by Lualdi as Johnson giving off to Genstad. The rally continues here between both teams as Kanoy trying to go for the big kill, and a hit off the top of the ceiling ended up coming way faster than the Fullerton defense anticipated it to be.
Well, it's a relatively low ceiling here at Colleen Riley Court, and what that does is because it had that so much spin, I think the players thought it was both going to either hit the ceiling and come back with that spin, but instead it comes back as a knuckleball and it comes straight down. Players weren't expecting that one.
So as we go into a timeout in this fourth set, the score is 19-17. Pirates currently up by 2. You're listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. Let me give you a little recap of the first couple of sets. In the first set, Fullerton was able to take it 25-15, but then Orange Coast Pirates came back, asserted themselves in that second set, ended up taking it 25-15 as well. Then in that third set, Fullerton again started to get that same energy that they needed. Sailor Fruce got a little bit more aggressive. Now the score is 28-18. And now we're in the fourth set. Fullerton still up 2-1, but Pirates currently have a 2-point lead.
I got some scores for you in that Orange Empire Conference play. Irvine Valley swept Santiago Canyon tonight, so they moved to 18-0, 11-0 in conference play, won by final scores of 25-11, 25-11, and 25-15. And then Santa Ana pulled off the upset and defeated Riverside 3-1, winning by final scores of 25-22, 25-22, 25-21, and 25-23.
Thank you, Noah. As we have play back in this fourth set, and a beautiful dink shot by Faith Webb to start it after the timeout.
You love to see that dump there. Good awareness.
As the score is 19-18. Pirates are still up by 1, but Genstad ready to serve for Fullerton. Let's see who can keep their composure in this very tight fourth set. As the ball goes over, now Thea Snyder setting it up for Lualdi, whose shot gets deflected. Sailor Fruh trying to save it with a one-handed dig, but it goes out of bounds.
And this would be huge, too, if the Pirates can win this set and force the fifth set. It would make for a very intense end to a match, because in the fifth set, too, remember, it only goes to 15. First one to 15 wins, not 25.
As Johnson serving it up for the Pirates. Now Longstreet shot gets rejected, but it gives Fullerton another shot to attack. As the ball ends up being a nice little bump, but it's going to allow Pirates to have a free play as Lualdi goes up as she meets the wall. It's still rally continues as Riley Vile's shot gets blocked. Now Fruh tossing it over to Faith Webb. The exchange continues between both teams as Lualdi gets that big time kill.
And in that rally, I thought both players, or of the both teams, Orange Coast College had the better first and second hit. And that's something we saw in that second set when Fullerton lost by a final score of 25-15 in that second set. They were struggling to get those clean first and second hits, and so they're allowing a lot of free balls. We saw it 2 times in that last play there. Fullerton College unable to get into their offensive play set, and so they're just giving a free play for the Orange Coast.
And just like that, another timeout for Fullerton as we're in the fourth set between the Orange Coast Pirates and the Fullerton Hornets. Score is 21-18 in favor of the Pirates. Noah, if you're Coach Glennie, what's the kind of advice that you're letting your squad know after you come out to kind of get back into this fourth set?
They got to stay composed, and they have to be able to communicate off of those serves or off of those first and second hits. Make sure they're communicating who has what area and know their responsibilities, know where they want to pass the ball to before. Kind of play some scenarios in your head, because the better you know where you want to go with the ball before it comes to you, the better prepared you are when it actually does come to you. And so you have an idea of where you want to hit it, depending on, if it's hit to your right, maybe a little in front of you, maybe a little to your left. But just be prepared for all scenarios. And I just like we said previously in the broadcast, this timeout kind of just allows them to take a deep breath, regather themselves, recompose themselves, and hopefully they can make a run to win this fourth set.
As we have both teams back on the floor, we have Lily Johnson ready to serve. The score is 21-18. Pirates on top as Lily Johnson's serve goes out of bounds, and she was visibly very frustrated.
And there you see the communication between Webb and Frew, both chirping at each other, both looking at each other, and then say, hey, it's going out of bounds, letting it go out of bounds. Well done there.
So it's Fullerton side out. Riley Vayo with the serve. Now Thea Snyder with a quick set, trying to catch the Fullerton defense off guard, but Fullerton was ready. Now we have Richelieu setting it up. Nice little touch pass right there by Lualdi. And now here comes the attack by the Pirates. Ball still in play. Sailor Frew almost didn't return that ball as the rally continues. Now Thea Snyder finding Lualdi on the near side of the court. Now Johnson goes far side for Faith Webb. Ball still in play is Longstreet trying to tip that one over. Now Snyder finding Lualdi. Ball is deflected by Riley Vayo. Fullerton is able to bump it over, and this rally is going to keep on going, and it just ends right when I say that, and it's going to be in favor for Fullerton as that ball sailed out of bounds for the Pirates.
It's been a tough set for Martinez. Didn't get as high as she usually does on that jump, and so she didn't have that downward angle. But that back and forth play on that last play, man, that was a lot of fun to watch. Gives you the feel of a playoff volleyball game here at Colleen Riley Court.
As Riley Vayo's serve ends up going out of bounds, costly point for Fullerton.
And that's what really hurt them against Irvine Valley College. Would you say it was 9 of service errors against Irvine Valley last Wednesday? Hard to beat a team when you start beating yourself.
The score is 22-20. Pirates are on top, 3 points away from taking this fourth set and forcing a fifth set. We have Thea Snyder. Nice little float serve. Johnson giving it off to Samaria Longstreet in the middle of the court. But the Pirates continue the attack. Now Johnson for Fullerton. Gives it off to Samaria again. Ball gets deflected. Good pancake as the ball goes over the net and out of bounds.
You mentioned it there. Great hustle there to get sprawl on the floor, get the pancake. It was 2 players, too. They had to do a nice job of whoever hit the ball. You couldn't even see, but they had to like diverge away from each other because they were both heading in that same direction, so they could have been a nasty collision. Nice awareness by both ladies.
Fullerton side out. They're currently down 22-21. Pirates still have a 1-point lead in this fourth set as Bailey Coffin trying to blast that ball. Good job by Hannah Tobin and able to get that one off her chest. The play continues. That's a nice little save, but ends up going out of bounds. So point for the Pirates.
It seemed like the Pirates picked on Hannah Tobin on that last play, hit the ball 2 times their way. One time Gutierrez was able to recover on that shank, but that second time goes over the net and way out of bounds.
So now the Pirates with the serve. Lualdi gets that one over into the center of the court. So now it's going to be a free play for the Pirates as Kanoe gets that one deflected off of Priscilla Gutierrez, and now they have a game point.
Gutierrez unable to get that one. She shanks that one. That's Coach Cutney's directing traffic and telling her girls, giving the advice to finish this set off.
Ball is in the hands of Lualdi, who's serving it over. Ball gonna have to get bumped over. Sailor Frew, too strong on that one. And we are headed to a fifth set here at Colleen Riley Court between the Fullerton Hornets and the Orange Coast Pirates.
You love to see the passion from both teams. I mean, both benches, whether it was Fullerton after winning the third set or here Orange Coast winning this fourth set, both benches showing such passion, such emotion. And you know, like I said earlier, it feels like a volleyball playoff game here at Colleen Riley Court tonight.
And Noah, I think you stated it perfectly. There's a lot going on. You mentioned the RPI of who's in position. Both teams are ranked. Fullerton ranked 19th, and I believe Orange Coast ranked 23rd. So there's a lot at stake here, especially with the season coming to a close, playoffs just around the corner. Both teams want to try to finish off strong and have some momentum. So what better way than to get a victory over a ranked team?
Especially, too, because I think both teams know that they're not going to win conference with Irvine Valley both being in their conference and being, on the incredible run that they are. But both teams are fighting for that second at-large bid in the playoffs. and both teams hopefully get to host a game, so that home court advantage will play a large part into going into this final 5th set of the evening.
Just as a reminder, recap if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Fullerton Volleyball, Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KB PK. My name is Victor Vasquez alongside Noah Alvarez and Ryan Osborne. Just to give you a recap of this match so far, Fullerton was able to take the first set 25-17, but then in that second set, Orange Coast College came out aggressive and assertive, and their service game really helped them out later on in that second set to take it, to tie things up. Then in that third set, Fullerton again came out with that same type of mindset that they had in the first set. Sailor Frew having a big impact in that third set, getting multiple kills. And the Fullerton Hornets took the third set 25-18. And the set that just concluded right now in the fourth, very tight. It was tied up until the 21st point, where Orange Coast Pirates took the fourth set 25-21. And now we are in the 5th set. Both teams with 2 sets apiece. Noah, what are you anticipating? Do you think there's a different type of strategy, knowing how you mentioned that now it's not up to 25, now it's only up to 15?
I think, yes, it'll be a different strategy because both coaches, if they see if their team is losing the momentum, they're going to call timeouts quicker than we usually see. I think both teams need to get into that, being that aggressor earlier on in this set, because you don't have that time to recover. You don't have that time to be maybe, let's say, down 20-13 and try and make a run as you try and get to 15. No, we're going to 15 here in this 5th set. First one to 15 wins it. Still win by 2, but nonetheless, these teams that have been going both back and forth for the most part, I think it's going to come down to who has the best first and second touch. In that first and in that third set, Fullerton dominated, and they're able to get into their offensive skill sets, offensive play sets. But in that second and fourth set, those first and second touches were a little bit off. They were shanking some of them. They were going wide left or wide right on some of them, and they weren't able to get into their offensive play sets, allowing a lot of free balls for Orange Coast. So I think whoever is able to control those first and second touches is going to win this 5th set.
As we have a little, to get you the reset lineups here for both teams. For the Orange Coast Pirates, you have Jocelyn Martinez, you have Bailey Coffin, Mahina Kanoi, you have Takita Robbins, you also have Lualdi and Thea Snyder for Orange Coast. And for the Hornets, you have Samaria Longstreet, Sailor Frew, you have Chloe Johnson, Priscilla Gutierrez, Hannah Tobin, and serving is Faith Webb.
And this is the second time these teams have played each other this year, going 5 sets in this second game too. So it's not like these two teams don't know what to expect. It's going to be really about who wants it more in this final and 5th set. As Webb will get started off for the Hornets, she's joined on the floor by Frew, Longstreet, Johnson, Gutierrez, and Hannah Tobin. This one off the net. Gutierrez able to get this one over. It's a free ball for the Pirates. Martinez hits this one too long. Didn't get the elevation on her jump. Hornets lead 1-0.
You have to point out the hustle by Faith Webb and Chloe Johnson on that previous play. First, Faith Webb with the one-handed dig, and then Chloe Johnson able to get that one off the net and continue the rally.
Here's a floating serve by Webb. No spin on that one. And Frew hits this right into the block of Martinez, who gets there over a little late. Hornets now lead 2-0 in this 5th and final set.
Noah, we've seen it all night. Whenever it's those 50-50 balls that are right on top of the net, it's usually Longstreet or Frew that are already in the air, ready to spike that ball down.
Here's another floating serve by Webb. Coffin gets a nice kill there. It's a point for the Pirates. They trail 2-1 in this 5th set.
You could see the emotion on Coffin. She felt really good after getting that spike, knowing that she's going to need every point in this 5th set.
Hornets and the Pirates are tied at 2 sets apiece. We're here in the 5th set at Colleen Riley Court as Martinez picks up the block here, there. And now things are tied up at 2 apiece.
Martinez just having a big impact. She came in this season with 52 blocks.
Here's Frew, and Frew hits this one a little too low into the net. 3 straight points now for the Pirates as they look to close things out here in this 5th set. Noah Alvarez joined by Victor Vasquez and Ryan Osborne. We're live from Colleen Riley Court for some Fullerton College volleyball action. on 90.1 KBPK. Now here's Kanoi from Hawaii, and she hits hers a little too strong. Things are all tied up at 3 apiece now in this 5th set.
You love the aggressiveness by Kanoi. She just got up there, thought she had good placement on it, but just went right above the baseline.
Longstreet now to serve, and she hits this one too long, a service error, and that's something we've noticed the last couple of matches. We've had Samantha Swanson subbing in for Longstreet when it's her turn to serve. That time they let Longstreet serve. She hits this one a little too long. Pirates now lead 4-3 in set number 5. Robbins to serve now for the Pirates. Genstad hits this into the double block, and Johnson unable to dinosaur dig it out. Hornets now tie things back up 4-4.
Lily Johnson has come up with a lot of blocks, a couple solo blocks as well. Unfortunate on that one that she couldn't get that one over to the Fullerton side.
Checking into the game is the very tall Alexis Zander, 6'4", freshman out of Temescal Canyon High School. Standing at 6'4". We saw her in that game against Santa Monica, and when she goes up with a double block with either Genstad or Longstreet, very impenetrable wall for that opposing offense, as the Pirates now have a 5-4 lead. Richelu will be serving now for OCC. They get it over to Zander. Smacks it over. And Kanoi picks up the point for the Pirates as they now lead 6-4.
Noah, to kind of get back on the previous play, another service error for the Hornets led to the side out for the Pirates. The service errors are actually piling up as the sets go on for the Hornets.
It's their 4th service error on the evening. Zander smacks this one, and Robin shanks it, goes behind the court. Now the Hornets trail by 6-5 in this 5th set.
You could tell as Takeda Robbins hit that ball right off the forearm. You could tell that from her facial reaction that she just knew that that ball was going to sail out, wasn't giving her team a chance to put that one back into play.
Fullerton looking to advance to 8-2 in conference play. This one's tapped out of bounds. Gonna go towards the Hornets. No, towards the Pirates. That one was hit by Zander. It looked like it deflected off the hand of Robbins and hit out of bounds. So Fru's gonna go talk to the up referee, Dusty Orvis.
So initially from over here, it didn't look like Fullerton actually made contact with the ball. That would mean that the ball actually stayed on this side of the court, on OCC's side of the floor. If so, it should be a point towards Fullerton. All 4 officials are going to convene to see whether or not they saw contact at the net. If they saw that ball being contacted, by rule, that ball was contacted over top of the net. Or excuse me, not over top, but actually on OCC's side of the floor. And so that's what they're going to rule here, is that Fullerton actually made contact with the ball on OCC's side of the net. That's what ends up making it an OCC point.
So it gives the Pirates a 7-5 lead. Thank you for the explanation, Ryan. We're here in the 5th set at Colleen Riley Court between Fullerton College and Orange Coast College. Both teams have 7 conference wins on the year. Fru now hitting it over for the Hornets. Pirates getting into their place. Here's Lualdi with some touch on that one. Hornets able to dig it out. Genstad hits this one wide left. 8-5, the Pirates lead. As you remember, halfway through the final and 5th set, teams switch benches. So Pirates going from the right to the left side. Fullerton moving from the left to your right. Still in the 5th set, 8-5 is the score. The Pirates do lead. The 6 on the floor. Lily Johnson, Thea Snyder, Lucrecia Lualdi, Terry Takeda Robbins, Presley Richelu, and Mahina Kanoi. The 6 on the floor for Fullerton. Alexis Zander, Chloe Johnson, Mackenzie Genstad, Faith Webb, and Sailor Fru. Lualdi hits this one too long. It's a point for the Hornets. Narrow the lead now to 2, 8-6.
Typically in the earlier sets, Lualdi was having a lot of success, able to power it down on the hardwood but that time sailed that ball way too long.
And here's where that stamina and endurance play into part for both teams. Because you mentioned it, Luwaldi was very active in those first 2 sets. As that's going to be a 4th hit violation on the Hornets. Pirates now lead 9-6 in this final 5th set.
As we have Priscilla Gutierrez coming in for Mackenzie Genstad.
Lily Johnson to serve now for OCC. Webb hits this right into the double block of Snyder and Martinez. It's going to force Megan Glennie to call a timeout as the Pirates have a 10-6 lead over the Hornets here at Colleen Riley Court. A reminder, you are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. I'm Noah Alvarez, joined by Victor Vasquez and Ryan Osborne. The momentum has shifted in favor and stayed in favor of the Pirates. What does the Fullerton need to do in order to regain that momentum?
They need to come up with big-time plays like Pirates have had so far. I mean, earlier on in the first set and the second set, you see the blocks coming in favor of the Hornets. They're able to get their hands on multiple balls. And now as the match has gone on in the 3rd and 4th set, you see the Pirates getting those big-time plays, getting those big-time kills. So Fullerton is just going to have to find a way to make the right decisions, though. You don't want to make these, decisions where you're like, you know what, I think my team needs this, where let's just try to make a smart decision, a smart play for your team in order to get back into this game. You're still only down 4.
Well, Ryan made the reference earlier to the baseball game that's going on tonight. And it's just like in baseball, you don't want to play hero ball. Let your team try and get on base, try and let your team score you in. Same thing with volleyball. You don't need to be that individual player who scores all the points. Set it up for your teammate if you see that they're in a better position. There's a joust at the top of the net. Over on the side of Fullerton now, it's a backcourt attack from Frew. It's a point as they call a push on Frew. Pirates now lead 11-6.
So very similar to a carryover in basketball, in which you take that palm of your hand and you take it from the bottom up to the top to give you more control. She ended up pushing that forward rather than hitting it.
Longstreet. Her attack is good, falls inbounds. So 11-7 now is the score. Hornets looking to make a run.
No, if there was 1 or 2 players that you would look at Fullerton to see, okay, who's going to come up with that play to get us back into the game, it was going to be Longstreet or Frew. Longstreet with a nice little kill down the middle of the court.
Both players, the 2 most experienced players on this team. Longstreet directing traffic from that middle position. Samantha Swanson in now to serve. She's joined by Priscilla Gutierrez, Nicole Tiffany, Chloe Johnson, and Sailor Frew on the floor. They're going to set it up now for Tiffany. Tiffany hits the top of the net. And the down referee calls it. Todd Livedall didn't get over and to the block of the net. So now it's Pirates lead 12-7.
Unfortunate, Noah, that all these calls kind of have been going against Fullerton. And it seems like Coach Megan Glennie probably wants another timeout, and she's going to get it.
She has to rally her troops here as they trail 12-7 here in this final and 5th set at Colleen Riley Court. You are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. How we got here? Well, the Hornets won that first set 25-17. Orange Coast came storming back, won the second set by a final score of 25-15. Third set, Hornets win 25-18, have a lot of nice control there. They get into their offensive skill sets. And then in that 4th set, Orange Coast College wins by a final score of 25-21. So this game has gone back and forth, and if the trend continued, Fullerton would be winning here, but they find themselves trailing by 5 by a score of 12-7 late in the 5th set.
And Noah, it really comes down to, okay, where you're not going to make excuses and say, well, it's because of, the calls that we've been getting against us by the referees. No, it's also the decision-making and the plays you've been making as a team. Sometimes when they say when you should have zigged and, instead you zagged, that's the kind of thing that you're going to look back at this game where, like, okay, well, we should have done this, but we did this instead. So hopefully they still have time. They're only down by 5 in this 5th set. You just got to come up with these key plays that are going to keep you alive in this 5th set.
3 sophomores on the floor for the Hornets after the timeout. Gutierrez, Frew, and Longstreet. They're joined by Tiffany, Johnson, and Tobin. 6 on the floor as Snyder snares this one for the Pirates. She's joined by Martinez, Coffin, who gets that shot blocked. Duwaldi, Robbins, and Kanoy round out the 6 for the Pirates. Both teams rallying back and forth. Here's Johnson, back setting it for Longstreet. Martinez gets a piece. Here's Coffin now. Her shot gets blocked by Longstreet. Here's a play for Tiffany. Tiffany's shot gets blocked. Fullerton recovers. Teams rallying back and forth, trading offensive sets. Johnson quick sets it, dumps it over in the middle. Hornets now trail 12-8.
And no, those were the key plays that you needed. You needed that quick set to get that one over and catch the defense off guard. It was a back and forth. They were thinking there was going to be a kill. Instead, beautiful, beautiful pass by Johnson.
You love to see it, as now Nicole Tiffany will be serving. As this one shanked by Lualdi. Nice job by Snyder to get this one over. Pirates rush back into position. Good hustle there by Orange Coast College, and Frew and Longstreet combined for the block there.
Noah, over the last 2 plays, Longstreet has gotten a hand on 3 blocks so far. She is, again, giving this team a chance to stay in it in the 5th set.
Her and Frew make an impenetrable wall for opposing offenses. That's going to force Coach Cutanese to call a timeout here, as Pirates are up 12-9 here in this final and 5th set. You are listening to Fullerton College Volleyball here on 90.1 KBPK. Noah Alvarez, Victor Vasquez, Ryan Osborne on the call for tonight's game. A reminder, basketball this Friday on 90.1 KBPK in conjunction with Fullerton College TV. Corey Nayland and Mark Pavlovich will be on the call as Fullerton College basketball kicks off their season against Vanguard University. Now back to tonight's volleyball game, though, Victor. What do you want to see here from Fullerton to continue their momentum after the timeout?
You got to continue with those big-time plays. I mean, Longstreet is just getting up there above the net and has a hand on every ball that it gets hit on the attack by the Pirates. If she can continue to have that kind of success and disruption, Fullerton is going to be back into the set and try to take this match against the Pirates.
And you mentioned it earlier, good crowd turnout for tonight's match. You like that Orange Coast College has traveled pretty well, too. There's a few Orange Coast College fans in that back middle section here at Colleen Riley Court. As Tiffany hits this one a little too hard and a little too low. 13-9, the Pirates lead 2 points away from a victory.
Not the moment you wanted a service error, especially in this 5th set. Let's see if Hornets can try to recuperate after that.
Tiffany, the freshman at a Whittier Christian High School, gets subbed out for Faith Webb. Freshman to freshman. Lualdi now serving for the Pirates. Johnson gets it over to Longstreet, who taps it over. And it's a double hit. Double hit violation on the Pirates. Hornets now trail 13-10.
Hornets were ready on that play. You saw they started already, Longstreet and Frew getting up against the net, ready to block any attempt by Kanoy.
Things are getting very intense here at Colleen Riley Court. Playoff type atmosphere, as they like to say. Longstreet will be serving for herself again. Here's her serve. It's a floating serve. No spin. Longstreet tries to dig this one out, shanks it towards the side. Pirates now 1 point away from coming out with the victory tonight.
No, I love the reflexes that you had. You were very quick on that one. Almost came right at you.
It'll be Terry Takeda Robbins serving now for the Pirates. 14-10 is the score. Standing serve as Genstad hits this one, and it's in play. Hornets now trail 14-11 as they need to get 4 straight points if they want to come out victorious.
Genstad finding the corner on the near side of the court, keeping Fullerton alive.
As the Hornets make a substitution, Chloe Johnson in now to serve. The freshman from Langley, Washington, as Orange Coast gets into their play. Johnson now. Here's Frew. This one falls in the middle. Able to get it over, though, is Luwaldi. Xander gets this one off the block. Frew hits this one over, and that one's going to land out of bounds. So Orange Coast College pulls off the upset here at Colleen Riley Court and wins 3-2 tonight. Go ahead.
No, I'm still in disbelief that Luwaldi got that ball back into play, and that literally is what got them that 5th set, because Fullerton was already ready to, celebrate and get that point.
Yeah, jump the gun there if you're Fullerton College. Well-fought game between both teams. Like I said, playoff atmosphere throughout. The teams trade sets as Fullerton College. Just to recap, they win the first set by a final score of 25-17. Then the Pirates of Orange Coast, they win the second set 25-15, really control the pace and tempo, while Fullerton College then rebounded, wins the third set 25-18. Orange Coast goes on to win the fourth set 25-21, and then Orange Coast remains hot in that final and 5th set, jumping out to a big lead early and holding on to that lead, winning by a final score of 15-11. Orange Coast now advances to 15-4 on the year, 8-3 in conference play. Fullerton College now 12-8, 7-3 in conference play.
Unfortunate, Noah, that both teams coming off of losses last week. They were both looking to rebound, and in this case, the Pirates having success tonight and having the perseverance to kind of keep going and forcing a 5th set against this tough Hornets squad.
The Hornets now trail 2 games in a row. The Hornets now lose 2 games in a row on the year, fall to 7-3 in conference play. For Ryan Osborne and Victor Vasquez, I'm Noah Alvarez. Also, can't forget Mark Pavlovich working the camera behind the scenes. I'm Noah Alvarez. Thanks for tuning in to Fullerton College Volleyball on 90.1 KBPK.